Hey, we're live.
Elevator music.
I believe that was
It's a
the
song. I can't remember what the name of it is though.
What
It's a
was that
theme
from?
song for something,
The
wasn't it?
theme song for the Password? Was it the theme for Password?
Maybe.
It was an
Maybe.
old game show. It was an
Yeah.
old game show. Kabuki Kid will probably stick the landing for us. I was I'm almost positive it was Password. This wasn't Hollywood Squares, because Hollywood
Nah.
Squares was different. I could hear Hollywood Squares in my head, but and then whatchamadig, the why can't I remember any of this stuff? A dating game. There you go. She
Dating game.
and then because like Family Feud was dun 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 dun.
Still is. Oh wait, is that still one?
Right, it was like anyway, what's new? What's fun? What's awesome?
The remodel's finally done. Final. Took a month, 3 times longer than it should have.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but it's done. Well, I got to put a couple thresholds in, but it's done. 4 gallons of paint, 120 square feet of flooring, 3 walls of sheetrock. The 3 P's. I hate 2 to 3 P's. I hate plumbing and painting.
What's the other P?
Politics.
Oh.
Politicians, I should say.
Politicians.
Yeah.
Well, I mean that's a wide variety of options that you're throwing out there.
But it's done.
Does that give you joy?
Yes. Yeah, I made it more complicated than I had to, but what happened is my washing machine overflowed. And I yanked up the rugs and I was like, well, yeah, I remodeled the whole laundry room, waterproofed it.
Do you
And
have
then
a
the hallway
front or a top?
top. The siphon valve has a hose on it that there's a valve in it with a hose that the air pressure with the water will tell it when to shut the water off.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
hose popped off and it just overflowed. It didn't know when to stop. Yeah, but we caught it, but it already did the damage. Well, you got a front loader that does that.
No, I mean, I've had situations where, like my front loader, like, you'd open it up and the water would pour out. And you're like, why didn't this drain? And so I had to go in and I think I've told this story. I mean, for those long-term listeners of the Alaboom, which at this point I think it's everybody's long-term listener. Now many people stumble upon this live shenanigans we do. But the long-term situation you have there was that the long-term we've since replaced this washer because the old one just died completely and totally quit. But like what I didn't know is like I read about like, oh yeah, you've got to like when that happened with the old one, they said it's most likely the filter on the inside. It's got like a baby sock or something trapped in there. And
that makes sense.
Sure enough, and then the whole thing was just like, how do you open it up? And I remember finding it on the interwebs, and like you
Dig the whole thing apart.
Well, no, it was like the weird bottom base. So 2 things are going to happen. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to crouch down on the ground, and you're going to unscrew these 2 little screws that are on the like the base of it, which you wouldn't see, right?
Yeah, no,
Then you pulled the whole bottom like front casing off.
axle pad. Yeah.
Yeah, and after you pulled it off, they said the first thing you'll see on the base, like basically the metal sheet that's the base of the whole thing, or whatever, you're gonna see on top of there's going to be the manual that tells you how to fix everything inside your washing machine. That if you had asked some guy to come and look at your thing for you, he would have cracked it open and then pulled that out and read how to do what you're paying him $150 to show up to do.
It's the same
And
thing with
so-
your dishwasher.
Yeah, so it was just kind of like, and so I thought, which I thought was like, that's bogus, right? So yeah, so
You pay for what you don't know.
yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
So what I did was I went and so then I found a little filter and did it. But yeah, I had the same thing happen with the other one too, where we had basically the exact same thing. That one was a little bit different because it has the new one has the compartment that has the where you put the washing machine liquid into the compartment, and so you don't have to add it. It just automatically like drains a little bit out of it each time, right? I don't know if you've ever had one of those, which it's one of those things where it's like, depending upon whatever, sometimes you use it, sometimes you don't. There's a whole front pad of it, right, that you mess up and change things around. Hey, Scott, remind me that I have to, when we go off the air, I need to talk to you briefly about just a couple BGG con things. It's nothing too crazy. It won't cost you any money. Well, maybe it will cost you money. Who knows? Most likely, you never know. You never know. I have my hotel room and I have my
That's good.
my plane tickets for
That's good.
For BGG Con, and I'll be picking my booth on Saturday. I'm coming out of the
is that
booth.
the draft day?
Draft day.
I thought that was going to be this week, but I guess he pushed it to Saturday.
Yeah.
Saturday.
Gray
Who works
Fox,
on
Gray Fox
Saturday?
Games is like the fourth.
A lot
or
of people do,
fifth.
Scott.
We're the fourth or fifth person that gets you. So I think I'm going to take, because I think all
Move
the
it up.
end caps will be taken, the good ones. So I'm going to take one that's facing the board game area, the open board game area where people play. So then people see you, and they want to.
I think there's going to be a fair amount of exhibitors.
I gotta ask you this. Have you guys determined a mask policy yet for BGG Con?
No, it's based on CDC. Whatever the local CDC says to do, then we'll just do that.
Well, it's Texas, so they're gonna say everybody run in and cough on each other, right?
Not
Yeah.
necessarily. Dallas has different rules, potentially.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I
Potentially.
remember last time I was there for
Yeah.
the con, it was like you had the shoot from the hip, come as you are downstairs. Open
No, there
board
was
game
rules.
area.
There was
One
a
downstairs had a
there was
mask
a
optional.
non-mask, mask optional.
And then the upstairs one, I'm
Mask
just going to say
required.
this. I'll say this to you.
There will be
I'm gonna-
both mask required and mask optional rooms.
Well, see, speaking of as an exhibitor, somebody who will come there with product that I'll want to sell.
Mhm.
Is there any way that you could have the mask optional area to be where the exhibitors are? Because that had like wall to wall people in it constantly. And then the mask optional area or the mask mandatory area had like
Nobody.
a 10.
No, you're exaggerating.
I am not, dude. It was a ghost town. I could be throwing.
Bullshit.
I could throw like 20 free
Bullshit.
board
It
games
was
out
not
and everybody
true.
would have gotten one.
No, I do not believe you.
It was.
It was
dude.
not.
do I.
It is not that like that at all.
It was.
I will say there was a disparity in the sizes of the crowds. But I would not say.
And I will say there was it absolutely affected the number of eyeballs on the stuff we had to sell. It absolutely affected.
Oh, you're talking about because that was the room with the masks.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
So you
you know,
say throw him in the fire pit, Scott.
what I'm saying is if you want,
I mean,
you know,
here's the thing. In my opinion, it should just be like, if you want to wear a mask, wear a mask. If you don't, you don't. Right? I mean, like that's my feeling on it. But we're gonna go by the rules of the city.
well,
We're not gonna require. Yeah.
I'm not telling, I'm just, I mean, I'll, oh, excuse me. COVID. No,
Son of
Have
a
you? Oh, you
bitch.
had COVID already.
3 times.
Michelle thought she had COVID again tonight.
Did
a
she?
test. Yeah. We're not
I
feeling well.
had, I'm not exaggerating. You weren't even
No,
there.
everybody's paranoid. They get a cold and
Anything you get, you gotta. Well, you gotta
Yeah.
check it because then you can't really like go to work and do functions if you got it right,
Yeah.
or you're not
Paul
supposed to.
Tompkins. He is exaggerating. I'm not. It's Bill
He's
exaggerating.
100%.
Ignorance is
Thank you, Paul
bliss.
Tompkins.
It was.
I hear
It
you.
was. It was. It was. It was.
I got tested once because I had to go on a cruise.
That room was full. What are you talking about? I was in there.
No way. And I liken it. Well, no, you know what it was? It was hardcore gamers that were sitting in like their little groups or they weren't going to buy anything anyway. It wasn't a casual crowd. It was.
I'm feeling okay. Thank you for asking, Kabuki.
No, what the other thing is that, like I said to you, it would be like
No, we
if
don't care
that
about you,
was
Scott.
if I was in a baseball game, if I was in a baseball game, and we were sitting, and all the people that were in there playing games were sitting on the first baseline foul line, every one of us would have gotten a free foul ball. Like, you know, it's like,
Stop it.
15,
It was not that. It was not like that.
15 foul balls into the area. We all got
I
one.
will admit
Woo!
that the other room was more full. That doesn't mean there was nobody in that room. There was plenty of
But
people.
you're downplaying it. It's like,
What do you
the
mean? What am I
downstairs-
supposed to
the
do?
downstairs-
Like, oh no, it was the worst ever. Like
the downstairs.
nobody.
No, I'm not
There
saying
was
that, no.
nobody in that room at all. It was.
I'm
it
going to
was,
say this. I'll say this. The
Lance with
downstairs
his
room.
exaggerations.
The downstairs room had full tables wall to wall. It was like and hundreds, if not thousands, of people in that room, all having an
That room doesn't
absolute
hold that many
blast.
people. Oh yeah,
Right.
they were all. That was the fun room.
That was everybody's having a blast.
Yeah.
You go.
'Cause you
if
weren't in
if
The
there.
other
if
room
you
was just
could-
no
if you
fun
could-
at all being had
If you
at
could
all.
float,
None.
if you could float,
It was
if
like
you
a
could
church in
float
there.
through if you could float through the floor and go up to the room directly above it.
I wore K95 on a cruise the entire time.
Me-
I still got it.
Me and
Just FYI.
and the three other
Scott, I've seen one
vendors
mask
that
in
were
the
there,
last month. You know what I
we're
mean?
fighting over trying to sell things to 12 people.
You were trying to sell. Okay. Well, you got good games this year, so maybe you'll do better.
Well, yeah,
You actually have games people want.
we had
kidding.
games people wanted last year.
I'm
too.
kidding.
But we
Lance.
sold.
I'm
No,
just
but
messing.
well, I'll say this: like,
Are you going to
we
Essen?
had- No,
Holy shit!
Well,
Did you see the
Shane-
jobs board on Essen?
No.
no. Just hold on. Shane
There's
and
like-
Josh are going to Essen. That we're not going there. We don't have a booth or anything. We're just going there. But and by we I mean Gray Fox Games and my daughter's coming to BGG Con. So we locked. I finally I told her she had to figure out whether or not she had. I think it just might be me and her running the booth. That'll all be it is, you know, because it's just a 10x10, and the two of us should be able to handle it.
We had our Essen meeting today.
You know.
Sending 5 people, 10 people.
10?
Oh,
It's
look at the big money
5
bags
couples.
on you.
We got to get games, man. We need games.
You paying for the significant others too?
Yeah.
Attaboy.
That boy. That's why we
We're
like
pretty.
this
We're
guy.
we're pretty. I mean, they're gonna be working.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm not gonna pay.
It takes 5 people
That's
to.
fair. That is fair. Sure.
Yeah, it's 5 couples. It will. I mean, there was only Beth and John last year. 1 couple, 2 people. This year it's Beth and John, Candace and Matt, Lincoln and Nikki. Am I missing somebody? Eric. Oh no, Eric.
tell
Eric's
you.
by himself. Did I do? I don't know if I did the math right there. Maybe only 3 couples and a single. 7 people.
7?
Yeah.
You
Lincoln and
say-
Nikki. Lincoln and Nikki. Beth and John. Candace and Matt.
Eric.
Eric.
So 3 couples and then single.
And I feel like
Who's
there's
the
another
Who's
person.
the dark-haired fella that was coming around with the wagon in Gen Con.
The dark fellow with the well, that might have been Walt.
Yeah,
He's
I was wrong.
he's a volunteer.
Okay.
He's gamer buds with Beth.
Oh, okay.
So this guy takes 4 to 7 people to get games at us.
It's gonna. I guarantee. Yes.
Really?
It's a fucking.
Is it just a
big
collection
job.
of it, or
Yeah, you have to go to every booth, get the games, which could be 2 to 4 games. We're asking for at least 3 to 4, depending on the hotness, right? And then whatever we end up getting, like we're gonna have to pack all that. We sent back 20 boxes last year, or no, 10 boxes. 10
Is that
boxes
like
there.
a-
20 Gen Con, we had 20 boxes. This year we're doing. Last year we had 10 of Essen. I
Is that a
fully
pallet?
expect at least 20. No, these are in packs. We airship everything now.
oh, okay.
No more pallet. That's a pain in the ass.
I'm just trying to visualize it. 20
Yeah, it's
boxes.
probably like 20 giant packs, like 20 40-pound boxes.
I still can't visualize.
Yeah, we actually did our meeting today and plan of attack.
Plan attack.
Well, try to get as much as we can done on Wednesday because Wednesday's not open to the public day. We have,
Yeah.
we can get in early and do the jobs, and then try to get as much as we can. Then get everything else on Thursday, and then hopefully Friday's a trickle. So 2 really solid days of acquisitions incorporated.
Oh, good luck to you.
The SMBGG list has over 900 games on it, by the way. I went through this list. I'm like, where the fuck did all these games come from?
So 9, that would be 18.
Now there's a lot of what? Say again.
That would be 1800. Like, if
Oof,
you get
I don't
it.
think we're gonna get all 900. But
Yeah.
yeah, I bet we're probably gonna get at least 1,000, maybe 750 to 1,000.
Games?
Two.
Yeah, I didn't
When
realize
you
you
do
were
2s and 3s of each, yeah. I mean,
Yeah, I didn't realize you were going 3s.
well, we're gonna do 4s of the hot ones. There we have a list of a preliminary list of about 20 hot games.
Yeah,
There's a
still.
lot of games coming out that are pretty cool looking. I'm excited. Are we gonna do a preview? A 10-hour preview night?
I thought we were the last couple weeks or so.
No, we were joking about that.
Oh, were we? What is
Are we
it?
gonna do anything?
We said we are gonna do 3 weeks of fucking preview.
We usually do the week before, right?
Well, we got 3 weeks.
do the
3
top
weeks?
50.
Yeah, we can probably do it over 2 weeks.
Just do the top
Yeah, we
50.
could probably do the top 50 and just like, or everybody could pick, whatever. That's homework. But there's
Barry
a shit ton of
Stone, he
games.
don't do homework.
I did not realize that list compounded overnight.
Yeah, I didn't realize.
And a bunch of I'm like, what? I like everybody's ringing off names. I'm like, are you making these names up?
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, a lot of the names are just nonsense words to me. Like,
Really?
what? Like,
oh my god! Speaking of
I-
nonsense words,
Yeah.
did you guys see that Motley Crue video?
No.
It's current, like recent footage of a concert, and they're doing basically Vince Neil is singing, but they're doing on-screen text subtitles.
Oh,
of
I've seen
what
that.
Fuck, it's funny.
With the
Oh my
horse. Yeah. Because Vince Neil has lost it.
He's
It's
not doing
so
good.
bad.
Yeah.
He's
Like,
over the
it's
hill.
so
for sure.
bad.
Yeah, he's.
That's probably why they're on tour. He needs an
Oh, yeah,
operation.
no,
He
I've
fell
seen
off the
that.
stage not too long ago.
Well, that
Yeah.
happens.
Oh,
They
bummer.
a bunch of them.
Oh, that happens.
Yeah, it does. They, Slash did it. Dave Grohl's done it.
Hey, Mr. Big
A
is
lot
here.
of singers done it.
Hey,
The
look at that
Kingpin
guy.
is here.
Hey.
The Kingpin just
The
showed up.
Kingpin is here.
Mhm.
Look
More-
at the Kingpin.
More like the penguin.
You look like who's the Superman villain? Lex Luthor.
Lex Luthor.
You got a
I
little
was
Lex
thinking of
Luthor.
Kojak.
I'll take it. I'll take
Yeah, you
one.
looks good. You look good, man.
Thank
I,
you.
I wish I looked like Lex Luthor.
You can with just the right haircut.
Just got to shave my head. I
Yeah.
feel like I'm
Smoke a
losing
cigar
my
every
hair.
day?
Hmm?
Do you smoke a cigar every day?
No, I smoke cigars on Wednesdays with my friends. It's porch night. So yeah, it started off, I read an article somewhere about how women get together with their friends and they talk about life and stuff like that, and it's like a therapy session for them, and men don't do that. And so I suggested it to my friends and they were like,
Every Wednesday.
that's bullshit. That's
We
bullshit.
do that
It's
every
not-
Wednesday.
Yeah, so it becomes every Wednesday. It's evolved into that. So they come over, we talk for a couple hours, have a couple cigars, and I had one left, and I figured if I don't smoke this one tonight. It'll just be haunting me for the rest of the week. So fuck it.
I smoked one cigar.
One.
Thickest night of my life.
Yeah.
Thickest night. I was so miserable.
You don't inhale, Scott.
I didn't inhale. I did not inhale. I knew not to inhale. I puffed on it for like an hour, and then I did not feel well, and I was rolling on the ground in pain for like another hour.
I've inhaled them on.
not-
I've inhaled them on reflex. It wasn't that bad, but it's
Yeah,
I don't
Certainly
smoke.
not good.
that and my night of
Great.
that and my night of clove cigarettes were the two sickest nights of my life that I can recall.
Clove cigarettes.
Clove.
Oh,
Cloves.
I didn't know that was an actual thing. I thought it was just
I used
they
to
were made
have
for
them here.
weed.
They make your
Oh.
lips sweet. Like your lips taste very like they're like candy. They're like candy cigarettes.
Oh, I did know about that. The
Cloves,
actors use that
yeah.
on set now. Yeah, I
Yeah,
did
they
know
suck.
about
Don't
that.
that and the guitar cigar made me so sick.
well, I'm
I
sorry.
I've learned my lessons on all that.
Well, we all find out what we like.
Yeah.
I started with my dad. It was sort of we'd go and sit by a fire and have a cigar, and that's when he would like talk. And so and those are rare. Those are like, once every couple months when I would go to visit him. And so and then some friends of mine. It's funny because only 3 of us still have a cigar out of like 5 or 6 that show up, but it's become a thing. So now it's sort of like Wednesday would feel weird without it.
I remember you reminded me of something there, buddy. I went, one of my oldest friends, a guy I've known since kindergarten, his father passed away a few years ago, and I went to his funeral, and this is just a larger than life guy, personality wise, whatever, and just really nice guy. And all these people got up and they said a few words or whatever. They just had like one of those situations where if you wanted to share a story about him, and the guy's name was Stan, and this one guy got up there in middle of a Catholic church, and he got up and he looked over at the priest and he said, "I want to apologize to you," and he just kind of waved into whoever, he said, and he's like, I used to get together, and he said we used to play pinochle. He said 4 guys would get together, and every Friday night we'd get together and we'd play pinochle, and I forget what the premise was, but if you had a really good night, like you won, he said a penny a point, but if you won $10, you had to take it. Somebody had bought like some rancid bottle of tequila in Mexico. If you won $10 at a penny a point, you had to go and do a shot out of the thing. And he said, now that Stan's gone, he said, I'm the only one left of the 4. And so then he fished out a bottle of rancid tequila out of his pocket, and he poured himself a shot, and he said, to my dear departed friends, and he took a shot in the middle of I was like, and I remember just feeling like, oh, that's so sad. This guy was like a total hippy dippy guy. He walked up and he had, stringy long hair and walked up there wearing his sandals. And I was like, I'll remember that. I don't remember the guy's name or anything like that, but I'll remember that moment. I hope somebody when they plant me in the ground drinks a toast in my honor.
A few years ago,
Like a monster for your lands.
Yeah, there you go.
a few years ago, a good friend of mine died unexpectedly. He was young, just had a great checkup with his physician, and just didn't wake up the next morning. And so we were at the after the funeral, his wife had a special gathering for him at a local vineyard. So I went up with 2 of he would work my Gen Con booth with me, and I went up with 2 of our mutual friends, and we said our goodbyes and said the one thing about Mark was whenever someone said something needed to be done, his first response was, all right, let's go do it now. But he always loved to have scotch with us. So I had a flask, and we pulled out the flask. We all drank a toast up in front of everybody, and it was really nice. And we had these characters on DDO we all played together, and we just deleted them out of for Mark. So that was our way of saying goodbye.
That's sweet.
What was it? What's DDO?
Dungeons and Dragons Online.
Oh, okay.
Well, sorry, I didn't want to make it
Yeah,
somber.
yeah.
So
No,
So,
no. Everybody else got a depressing story they want to share. Tonight I'm wearing my Yeti hat. The
Yeti again.
The Yeti, of course, is the cousin to the aforementioned Bigfoot that is completely and totally real.
So I was looking at the a Facebook ad that came up my way was a Eschenspiel jobs board, which I never had seen before. If it ever existed in the past, I'd never seen it. There was at least 50, maybe even more. I didn't count, but I scrolled 50 publishers looking for workers, booth workers.
Oh, just to work the booth there.
Almost all of them they need bilingual. So I'm like, ooh, that's gonna be rough. But,
Yeah.
I mean, no, they're not offering to fly anybody from the States over, but it's all like hourly wages and like shifts and stuff.
Oh,
Pandasaurus.
The wages I thought were not like that crazily good, but they were something. But I've never seen that before. 50 or so people looking for booth
like you
workers.
said, there's 900 games coming out.
I wonder how many people are gonna come. I mean, I feel like it's gonna be a big deal. Because last year was pretty big, but
I don't,
I don't know if they ever published an attendance number.
is your like hurting financial? Like, I'm sure most of the people there are from Europe, right?
Most of the what?
Most of the attendees are European, right? I can't imagine a
Yeah,
lot
most of them are. Yeah. It's people because they can train in. They don't have to stay there. They like the hotels sort of are not like. I mean, there's a lot of full hotels. Like they're mostly booked hotels, but it's not like it wouldn't handle the amount of people that are in that town. Like there's no real big hotels there.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just pulled up my thing. I had to say this. Totally funny, totally unrelated. But Scott, when you posted that thing about the remake of Karate Kid, directed by Ryan Johnson,
That was a funny one.
I laughed.
It was.
So hard.
I laughed so hard when I saw that. I'm like, I gotta post this. I don't usually post memes.
No,
So the meme is just Daniel Russo saying,
You have the picture.
yeah. You're all just
So good.
I was just like, oh, it's so perfect.
The remake of Karate Kid's gonna be a banger.
Will you teach me? No, I don't
Will you
believe in
teach me?
karate. Leave me alone. I just want to die.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Oh my god. Oh my
Written and
god.
directed by Ryan Johnson.
Leave me
So good.
alone. I just want to die. Though I will say his Knives Out movie was funny in that sequel.
Oh, I like Knives Out. I'm like, did he
Not-
direct
Yeah.
the second one? The new
Knives Out was great.
There's
one?
a
The
second one?
Glass, yeah, Glass Onion. I think it's on Netflix.
Is it out
Oh,
now?
No,
and
but
then-
I think
and
it's
then
announced. I think
No, it's
it's.
Oh, I
announced.
didn't-
And for
okay.
that matter,
I don't want any.
if you've never seen Brick, which was his first big movie, it's a little bit of a long.
Oh, that's with what's his name?
Rick.
That's
the guy-
good. That's good.
Here,
Jim.
what was his
Don
name?
Creek?
I thought you'd love it. I fell in love with that when I saw it. I laughed out loud.
It's another D&D meme. Warrior, I swear I will have my revenge for the death of my brother. Elf, you have my bow. Dwarf, and my axe. Necromancer, and your brother. Oh, that's good. I'll share that with my D&D folks. See what they have to think. Hey, did you get your tattoo done there, buddy?
No, but I have my appointment.
Sweet.
She got back to me October 30th is at 6:30 p.m. is my appointment. But I have to ask you guys a question. So I have two options.
He's gonna get a tarantula
on your
side
ass.
of his neck.
No,
Just a big tarantula on the top of his head.
no. Lance, I sent you the picture. Of what
I
the
know,
tattoo's
I
like.
know. I'm just having fun.
No, can you post it?
Yeah, give me. Well, no, because you're sending me in via text. I don't have. What am I gonna do?
I don't know. Oh, I thought you put it up on your computer. Oh, I can't. Right, I have to email. Never mind. It's a scorpion. Kind of a tribal scorpion.
Are you gonna get a
Actually,
frog on the other one? So like
no,
scorpion
no.
and a frog?
That would be kind of cool though, wouldn't it? To go along with the old story.
Yeah,
Let me
there
see.
you go.
I'll hold this up to the camera. Maybe you guys can. Is that showing
Lower
through at
your,
all?
lower your brightness a little bit. Oh yeah,
Uh,
it's coming through. It's coming through.
Oh
Oh,
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. So my originally I was going to get it on my forearm, right about 6 inches size or so, but right about here on the inside, with the tail kind of coming up on the outside of the elbow. But now I'm thinking that maybe it would be better to get it smaller right here on the inside of the wrist.
Oh yeah, do it on the sensitive part of your body.
Oh, hey, I mean, both of my kids, you know, you can't really.
Yeah. Like that size on the inside of the wrist.
And those don't feel that bad, dude. I mean,
Mhm.
honestly, I mean, and if you're like me, you probably have a good tolerance to pain. So
I'm not worried. I'm not so much worried about the pain. It's more of it's my big fear in this whole thing is just it's so permanent. You know, I don't want to fuck up.
Oh no, no,
that's-
they wipe off if you don't like them.
No, they
That's
don't.
why I have one tattoo that I got when I was 18, and that's it.
Yeah, but so anyway, I think that maybe something smaller on the wrist is a better choice than something larger on the upper forearm. That's just what I'm feeling now.
So
What do you?
Is this your
Well, I
first
mean-
tattoo, Jim?
Yeah,
here's the thing
So,
with tattoos, man. I mean, I'll let Barry chime in here, but with a tattoo, I mean, it's like you just kind of have to go for it, and the thing is that like, and don't worry about it. Doesn't matter. I mean, I know that sounds weird, you know. I mean, because I used to have the Cleveland Indian Chief Wahoo on my shoulder, but I got it covered up with Odin and the Raven, you know. So I mean, it's just like you just kind
You
of,
did?
yeah,
Oh.
because it's freaking racist and horrible.
Yeah, well,
So I
sure.
got rid of it. Yeah. So I went in and I found a picture of Odin that I really liked, and I just was like, I'm pretty much all Norwegian, and I thought that's really cool, and that's what I want to do. So, I mean, but the thing with tattoos is just like, pick it because it means something to you, and then you won't
Right.
care. Right. I
Well,
mean,
yeah.
if that scorpion, even if the whole meaning of it to you is just you think it looks cool, then you're not going to care. I mean,
so I'm a Scorpio, and I tend to exhibit the classic Scorpio traits. You know,
you sting people.
I sting. Oh yeah, don't get my tail aroused. But
Son of-
my concern is not the image itself. I'm fine with the image. My dilemma now is I feel like I have to get it larger on my upper forearm, inside my upper forearm. It's kind of I don't know. It's big. It's kind of out there. It's kind of maybe more in your face.
I'll be fair. I've never checked out your calves and your legs. Do you have good calves?
I have nice calves, but I'm not getting it on my calf.
All right, fair enough.
I want it on my left arm, and I just don't know whether I want it a large, like 6-inch one on my forearm inside, or whether I want a small one on the smaller one, like 3 or 4 inches on the inside of my wrist. That's what I'm really debating. It feels like the smaller one is maybe more elegant.
Well, I mean, like your games, they're so elegant. I would just, I mean, the best thing you do is just. Go
Ask
with
your
gut.
wife; she's going to live with you. So,
No,
Yeah.
not anymore.
Yeah, go with your gut. Just go with your gut, and then because kind of a game, kind of a movie that everybody forgot. Billy Crystal, he played the NBA referee or whatever, and like I think it's like We'll Always Have Paris or something like that. I think was his name or whatever. But it was kind of a weird getting older love story type of thing. And then he had this discussion with one of his friends because he said, I don't know what to do. And he said, go with your gut. And he's like, what does that mean? It doesn't mean anything. He's like, your gut will tell you what you should do, even when you don't think it's right. It's because your gut is telling you what is the right thing to do. And if it's wrong, that's fine. You can at least say you went with your gut. So just go with your gut. You might decide it the day that you show up, man. I mean, and just say that's the one you want to do.
The only thing I have to say about that is that, you know, my graduate work was in decision theory, and I spent 6 years in a dissertation on not going with your gut and making rational choices. So it's really hard for me to say, I'll go with my gut. It just goes against everything I've been trained for. So that's a little difficult for me to let go, even though in circumstances like this, I understand that it is actually the rational thing to do.
Then just do the opposite
Chad
what you would
Roberts
normally
says he has
do.
a
Yeah,
tattoo of
exactly.
Don-
Right. I'm gonna pull a Costanza, right?
Jim,
Chad Roberts says he has a tattoo of Don Knotts on his inner thigh.
does he?
I don't believe that.
Jim, what made you decide to get a tattoo now at this time in your life?
I'm making a lot of changes this time in my life. I mean, I don't know if you know this, Barry, but I won't talk about it here, but there was some major life events that overcame myself and my family back at the end of 2020. But part of it is, you know, my daughter's got tattoos. My kids are like, do whatever the fuck makes you happy. Stop trying to make other people happy. And I've always kind of wanted one, and I just never did. So I figured the beautiful part is it will be done just before my 61st birthday. So I'll be able to get it done in my year 60, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So
Good luck with it.
thank you.
Hey, did you ever start watching the season 2 of Zoe?
No, I got hooked on the show Evil I've been watching now.
Oh
Me
yeah.
and Jed went through the first
Interesting
season
show.
pretty
Evil
quick.
is good. I like Evil.
Yeah. It reminds me of someone that said, how can we recreate the early feel of X-Files? Oh, I know. We'll port it over to Demons and Devils, and we'll replace Mulder with this priest wannabe and Scully with this other woman. And what about the
Three Horsemen.
yeah, the Horsemen? Is that what they call it? I forget what they were called.
Yeah, I think there were the
Four
Three
Horsemen in Apocalypse.
No,
the X-File.
no, the Lone Gunman.
Oh, the
Lone
Gunman.
Gunman.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what it was.
We'll wrap him
So
up
they
in
just
one
copied
guy.
all of the formulas.
There's some uniqueness to it, but it's pretty much very similar. It's almost like a reskinned game.
Yeah.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah.
But Michael,
but it's enjoyable. And the guy that plays the main character is the guy that played Luke Cage, and he's just phenomenal.
Yeah.
Michael Emerson, the guy that plays the bad dude, he's so good.
Is that Leland?
Yeah.
I got to tell you, we were talking about that tonight at Porch Night, where every once in a while you see this show where someone plays the role of the villain so well you viscerally despise them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why Stephen King said one of the best villains to ever hit the movie screens was the evil lady on Harry Potter that had all the pictures of the cats in her thing, and then
Umbridge.
Oh, Dolores Umbridge.
Dolores Umbridge.
He
Fuck,
said,
I hated her.
Yeah, he said that was one of the most perfectly crafted.
It really
villains,
was.
because you just despised her.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I said, it's just like you watch any old Western revenge movie or anything like that. It's like you can have guys, oh, that guy killed your best friend, and oh, that guy killed the sheriff in town, and oh that guy terrorized your family or whatever. And then there's the guy that shot the dog, and everybody is like, oh, that guy just better, and he's got it, and that guy had to die
John Wick.
horribly, like shot in the knees, and then the wagon rolled over his head or something, incredibly visceral because you shot his dog. Like what a horrible human being that is.
And the thing about villains like that, which is really amazing to me, is it's such a fine line, because if you go too far, it's just farcical. And if you don't go far enough, it's just weak. Yeah. But, to hit that right on the head is so rare. And when it's well done, I just hate that person. And if it's really well done, like this Leland guy is, if I watch him in something else, I will hate him in that, even if he's a good guy.
Well, he was one of the leads in Person of Interest.
Oh, was he the guy? Oh, wait, I think I saw a couple episodes of that. Yeah. He's a good actor, I gotta say.
He was in
Well,
Lost.
I didn't see Lost.
Neither did I, but I know he was in it.
you should watch Lost. I mean,
No, you
Lost
should,
is-
but
Oh, whatever. I mean, the first 3 seasons.
past his
I mean,
prime.
the first like 2-3
I think
seasons
it's
of that
worthwhile.
are like some of like the best.
Yeah, like what? Yeah, you're not gonna do any better.
Hey,
Yeah,
I still have episodes of the Rockford Files to watch. So
That had a woman in it I really liked, the woman who played Delenn on Babylon 5. I would watch it to see her.
I mean, no, I mean like to talk about
I
evil
don't think
people.
I've ever seen
Did
Babylon 5.
you guys ever watch?
Oh, really? Good show.
Once Upon a Time in the West, and like,
No.
oh, that's a great western. And so Henry Fonda, who always played a good guy, ever. Like he shows up and at the very beginning of the game, read the thing, and you're like, oh, he must be like you know, like, oh, here it's a good guy, and like and you're like, okay, it's Henry Fonda, he's always a good guy. And like, not only does he kill this guy at the very beginning, he also kills his like 12-year-old son. Like, yeah, you're just like, oh, okay, you're evil, you know.
I tried watching that movie. I could not.
Oh, really?
It's
Yeah,
boring.
you gotta like spaghetti westerns. Yeah.
I like spaghetti westerns.
No,
I watched all the Clint Eastwood stuff. Almost everyone.
Oh, like good, bad, and the ugly, man.
Yeah, Good,
like
Bad, and the Ugly is
that's a
awesome.
movie I watch, you know, once every 45 to 60 days. Something I just put it in.
Really?
We were talking about stuff. You know how like that old saying, if something's good, like it gets reprinted. If something's good, or whatever. Here's another thing. If something's good, you can find it streaming somewhere, right? So like you can think of something, oh, this is a really good thing. You can find it streaming somewhere. You know what was a good show that you can never find streaming anywhere? I haven't been able to find streaming, and it was a good show, and it was a cult classic. It only lasted 2 seasons, so there's a lot of things in it. But G versus E, if you ever
Never
watched-
heard of
oh
it.
my god, I love that show.
yes,
versus
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, exactly. G versus E. The whole idea of it was like a buddy
The
cop.
The
it was a
letter
buddy
G?
cop, like so good versus evil.
Good versus evil.
But was it
So
the letter G?
versus G versus E? Like
Isaiah
so-
Washington's in it.
Yeah, so it was
Isaiah.
so basically it was a buddy cop movie, basically.
Or sorry, no, what's his name?
These 2 guys, and then it was like a supernatural thing. They had they were agents of the Corps, which was the secret agency that Heaven commanded, that were against
Brooks,
the
sorry.
evildoers of from hell, that were like messing it, and it was like very retro, like 70s style.
It was like
everybody-
budget too. It was really good.
yeah, yeah, and it was like, and so there was like, it was very blaxploitation kind of thing, and it was just, and it was all about these 2 guys that they both had lives, they died, and then in order for them to get into heaven, they had to go back to Earth and hunt down all of these like basically all these evil Morlocks or demons or whatever that were on Earth. And there was a lot of cool stuff too, like the one guy, his wife had died, and so when he got killed by his like police partner, he was like, oh, but he was a bad cop, he was a cop on the take, and so he can't get to heaven or whatever, and so he can't see his wife, you know, and so that's why he's making sure that he does the right thing and everything like that. And he's going through the process. But I remember there was this one episode I don't remember much of all these episodes, but I do remember this one episode where he was sitting there and they said it was like a nearly impossible thing. Like he was risking his life to do it, basically risking being damned to hell or to forever. But if he could pull it off, they would give him 1 hour in heaven with his wife. And so like, and then the very end of it, like he pulled it off, and then like you see it. You see him, and he goes, he opened, like it was just a throwaway episode. It was like episode 7 from season 2, right? But then they're like, here you go, and they open up a door, and his wife is like standing right there, and she's like just sitting on like got a picnic basket and like and he gets to go and spend 1 hour with his wife, and it was just like, and he kind of goes through and they close the door behind him, and they don't, because, you know, but it was like just really cool. It was like he pulled it off.
Sounds neat.
Is that
Yeah,
the
it was
whole
good. No. I mean, that was just like I said. That was just one like
episode.
a throwaway episode. That was just one episode. I mean, every
okay.
single thing. It was very monster of the week. It was very like you need to go here and track down this demon who's doing this thing, and then they go there and they kind of have a shenanigans and whatever, and then
Would you like them, Lance?
Shenanigans.
the shenanigans?
No. Would you like the show?
Well, of course I would, but I can't find it anymore.
That's why I'm asking. I can get it if you like it.
He can tell you where.
Through chicanery.
Through chicanery.
Through chicanery. Well, we'll have to talk about it after. We'll talk about it off.
I'd watch it.
Yeah,
If
no,
you
it's
if you
and it
can
was
get
one
it,
of those
I'd watch
things
it.
too. Yeah, it was good. It was good, but it's never streaming anywhere. I mean, for the longest time, like Boston Legal was one of my favorite shows. It wasn't streaming on anything, and then they brought that back, and then so I can watch that on streaming, which is a show I love.
Did you guys ever watch Friday the 13th, the television series?
Oh yes,
Yeah.
So
yeah.
funny thing about that show, there's a newer show called Warehouse 13.
Yes.
That too.
One of
I've seen
my
that.
all-time favorites.
The game is awesome.
The game is. I hope to play it one day. Do you have a copy in the library?
Oh yeah.
Then we'll play it.
Michael Aldridge will be there.
What's that?
Michael Aldridge will be at BGG Con.
Who's that? Oh, is that the
This
designer?
guy who made it.
Cool.
Yeah.
So
Uh,
Friday the 13th, the television series, and Warehouse 13 have a striking number of similarities to them. They're both about reclaiming these empowered artifacts.
Yes.
I
did watch Friday the 13th now that you mention it. Yes.
It was always on late at night, like on Fox
Yeah, it was
or whatever.
it was like super low budget, right?
yeah.
Very
yeah.
low budget.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very
Weird
it was
graphics.
good, but and then for some reason I think there's a third show that is also based on that kind of mythos.
You were talking about it last week. What someone was
Well, there was the warehouse show, this one, and there was, I know which one you're talking about.
the librarians.
That
Yeah,
was kind of intriguing.
Not that though. It was an older one.
Older.
The
They did
librarians, the librarians is still the same. It's Indiana Jones artifact
Yeah, basically.
artifacts.
One of my favorites. Go
They
ahead.
did
Stargate?
they did a callback to that Warehouse 13/Friday the 13th TV show in an episode of Rick and Morty that was just phenomenal.
I've never seen Rick and Morty full through one episode.
If you
it's genius.
if
Really
you're
well
gonna
done.
just watch one to get a flavor, watch the one with the they made
Is it the one with where he turns into where he has a big exoskeleton?
No, it's
It's a good one.
it's Total Recall, it's called. And it's the one with the mind parasites. And
There's a board game based on that.
Yes, exactly. I have it. It's a card game.
I'll probably watch it at some point. But
That episode alone, if that doesn't hook you, I would be surprised.
there's a few episodes that I watch probably two or three, a few series that I watch 2 or 3 times a year. Leverage is one of them.
Don't know it.
Oh my God. It's all about the con, and it's this group of con men or
Mhm.
con people. It's so good. They're like Robin Hood con men, so they always take down like these really bad people. It's almost the US version of a UK show called Hustle, which is also excellent. I watch far too much television.
You did.
You don't watch enough.
I actually watched Narcos Saints, which was a pretty good series.
Yeah.
Narcos, I like the Narcos in general. There's Narcos, which dealt with Pablo Escobar, and then there's the
I
Narcos
try to get into
Mexico,
that.
which dealt with the Mexican cartels. This one deals with the Korean / Chinese version in South America.
So speaking of Korean, have you guys watched Squid Game?
Oh yeah,
I loved it. I loved
it
Squid
was
Game.
well
It
done.
won an Emmy.
There was some stuff in it I thought was unnecessary and silly, but
That's
some of those
because those South Korean dramas have to have the heart touching, the heart moment, the heartfelt moment.
I love the heartfelt
the
moments.
drama.
those I loved, but the part about the whole human trafficking subplot, with the organs and stuff, I thought that was unnecessary for the story.
Oh, sure.
But like the marble game, that episode, I was in tears at the end.
Oh
It
yeah,
was-
so are we.
It was so well done.
We were crushed.
I'm surprised we didn't
Lost
see.
has moments like that.
I'm
Lost will
surprised-
have moments that'll make you sad like that.
My daughter was when we would text and something was like very heart wrenching, she would just write to me, "Ali deserved better."
I can't remember. Oh, hey, something about board games. I backed a game on Kickstarter today.
Didn't hate it.
No.
Which one?
Cool Internauts 2-player Dune game by the same people who did War of the Ring launched
Hmm.
today.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
2 Travis Chance games right on back to
It's
back.
at like it's at like 377 grand right now.
Oh, I got speaking of board games, I got a line on a in shrink copy of the first edition of Study in Emerald.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I
the
was
guy-
giving out those like candy. I wish I had known they were gonna
Yeah.
be.
I,
was
I,
giving them away. I bought a case of them and gave them all away.
oh man, I wish I would have known. I love the short
Yeah.
story. So anyway, I found this guy.
Have you
through
played the
BG
game?
No, I just love the story a lot, and
Okay.
I wanted to get the game, but I found this guy through BGG actually, and right now he's going to send me pictures of it, and if it's as he says, all he wants for it is a $200 Amazon gift card. I'm like, that's
Is
not
that a
bad.
good deal?
Yeah,
What's that game going for?
on the open market, like if you buy it on through Amazon or eBay, it's like $300-400.
Wow.
Yeah, but
Hey,
again,
I
but
picked
again,
up mine.
this is new and shrink. It's not like
Oh, I
Oh,
picked up
boy.
mine at the flea market at the BGG con. The girl just had it up. This girl had it, and she said, "Make me an offer." And I walked
Nice.
up. I
20
walked
bucks
up
is
and-
20 bucks.
20
No, and I walked
bucks.
up and
Bucks.
and I've told this story before, but the biggest thing is that you gotta have the cash in your hand when you make your offer. Because then I walked up and I said, I'll give you $100 for it.
Hundo.
And I had a $100 bill in my hand. And the thing is that they see that $100 bill and people already see it and they're like, that could be mine. And I
for
can
this
be
piece
putting,
of cardboard. That means
and I can
nothing.
be putting it in my pocket. And then
Right.
I got
Oh,
$100. And then she was
For
like, oh,
iPhones.
well, can you do better? I was like, this is all the cash I got left. And I said, I'll give you $100. I got nothing else. And she's like, all right, fine. And then I took the game and I went and bought, $200-300 more stuff because I had way more cash than
Did you see the Stormlight Minis Kickstarter that launched yesterday?
no.
So basically, it's just minifigs and some larger painted ones. It's at 1.6 right now.
What?
What?
Why are mini games like so crazy?
Stormlight.
It's not
Premium
even a
Edition.
game; they're just minis.
What's
Wow.
Stormlight?
It's a Brandon Sanderson
Oh, yeah.
IP.
That's why. Okay, got it.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's
say no
why,
more.
exactly.
It
Well,
failed.
it's certainly not hurting anything.
Can I show something?
Uh-uh.
Wait a
Nah,
minute.
go ahead, Scott.
Wait a minute. I don't know if share's on. Hold on.
Is it
No,
on?
wait, no,
I
just
thought you
not
did
on.
earlier.
give me a second. I'll turn it on.
Study in Emerald goes for $300.
Enable.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not what I wanted.
I had a case of that. I was handing them out like candy. I was like, everybody just take one.
It's an
Oh,
okay
man.
game, but I don't know
I know.
about $300.
That I know.
Yeah.
There we go. You see it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I saw
Yeah, I
that.
saw
You
that.
posted that. That's
Woo!
cool.
United States of America.
How long did
Nice.
this take, Scott?
Patent and trademark. 22 years it took. No, it didn't
22
take that
years?
long.
No.
No, it's been a while.
So nobody can call anything Board Game Geek without paying you.
Well,
their
it's
dime.
nobody can call Board Game Geek. That is an online electronic bulletin board, like with exchange of messages.
Yeah.
Say, among computer users considering board games. So
So this is a
I got
registered
that
trademark.
locked down.
So now
You
you
got
get
board game geek lockdown? Okay.
So, but now what you have to do though, so this is registered trademark, right?
Yep.
So now you've got to go on all of your stuff on on your website. You got to put the circle R on it though.
Oh, do I?
Yeah. Otherwise,
to?
because if you don't use it, people can then claim it.
And you can't reinforce it.
Right. Exactly.
yeah.
So you have to, now you don't have to do it on all pages. Like for example, if you make a game and you want to trademark it, you have to put TM on the first writing of it, but it's carried through the rest of the rule book, for example. So for your splash page, you probably should put a circle R somewhere. Yeah.
I mean, we have the word Board Game Geek at the bottom of the screen.
Yeah.
BGG.
Congratulations. Congratulations. That is
It took
awesome.
a lot of years. It's been, I can't even remember when I first called a lawyer about this. I mean, I'm trying to remember the day. And it's like, it's been so long.
Was
Yeah.
it 7, Scott?
So it's crazy long, at least 5.
7 got
I
stuck
forget
in my
what
head or
sort of
something.
inspired me to do it. I'm like, we should probably do this. I
What,
call a
7
lawyer.
7 or 5? What are you talking, Barry?
Years.
It's after 5 years, you have to file additional paperwork just to confirm it. And then after
Right.
10, you have to renew it.
No, I'm at the
I'm
initial
just saying
one.
it's been in process.
Yeah.
Like, because I had 2 lawyers looking at it and it sort of fell apart with some
Wow.
that I was like, I think I got into a weird legal issue, I'll say.
Hmm.
Not going to say anything more than that. So
What
I
else?
did some other things.
I don't- I absolutely do not want to be. I mean, good for these people for going out and getting $1.6 million for their for the Stormlight premium miniatures. But what are people going to use this for, other than just having the minis?
You can bet your
People
ass that
do,
something's gonna get made that they can use it for.
Yeah, or they'll do it something, or, D&D
Either somebody will
something.
homebrew a Stormlight
Yeah.
campaign, or
RPGs.
somebody will come out with a RPG.
Well, I just can't see people. Well, here's the deal. I was thinking about this about RPGs, right? So everybody's got their new idea, right? Everybody's got their, oh, hey, check out this new RPG that I have, or check out this new RPG that I have. And there's all these RPGs and all these books and like things that I own tons of them, right? And I do. But here's the deal.
I'm not just the president, but I'm a customer
Yeah,
too.
exactly. Here's the deal. Nobody plays anything. It goes D&D is like nearly everybody, and then the remaining like crumbs, half of those crumbs are taken up by like Call of Cthulhu, and then of the crumbs that are left, it's everything else just scrambling for little tidbits and bites or everything like that.
Yeah.
Same
So
with
it's
the board
just
game
like-
industries.
So, but
Because
I think Matt's onto something though, because I think what they'll do is they'll play on people's sunk cost bias. So people plunk down all this money, they'll buy these minis, and then they'll come out with some shitty game, and people will buy it because they'll say, well, I already spent all the money on minis, so therefore I might as well buy this, or I will have wasted that money. So it's going to lock them in to wanting to use them to justify the expense.
And then the people that didn't buy the minis in the first place will buy them with the shitty game.
Yep. And then the people who bought the originals will then say, oh, now there's a secondary market for these minis because they're playing the game. It's as clever as it is evil.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It makes
Whole
sense.
Sheetrock thing.
The thing that got me
Forrest
was
crawled out of the basement.
I had an alert pop up on my calendar today.
Well,
You know what it is?
Today was the day that Norm Macdonald died a year ago.
No.
It hasn't been a year, has it?
It's been 1 year since Norm
Damn.
Macdonald passed away.
Wow.
What was the pop-up, Scott?
Oh shit, where did it go?
Norm
I don't
Macdonald,
know, Scott. Where'd it go?
He's-
Hold
didn't
on.
he do the voice of Yaphet in Orville?
yeah.
Yes.
He was the slime.
Yes,
or
he
whatever.
did.
It was awesome.
What's the price of the Pellicor Bandit? That's what we were checking
Oh
today.
God, it's bad.
The Pellicor Bandit.
Oh, it
Remember that?
crashed.
I forgot what it even was.
Oh golly, Scott, this is a good one. This is on my face.
and then all
You
of a
found like
sudden,
100 Pellicor
like,
Bandits,
oh,
right?
I have like thousands of Pellicor bandits.
What are they worth?
Right now, they're worth a cool 1.1 cent.
And how much did you buy him for?
Every single one I paid less than 3 cents for. A lot were 3.5, 3 cents.
So a net negative.
yeah,
Negative,
definitely big
yes.
net negative right now.
The Pellicore Bandit was not as
Forrest.
Well, it's
Forrest?
still not sold out yet. 71% of the stock is sold out, so it's a hodl. I said it last year. It's a hodl.
So I wanted to say something. Forrest, yeah, I love you. You're a brother. You're a good friend, and you are an exceedingly unending font of humor and enjoyment for me, and I wish you nothing but the best. But I fucking told you so.
And you know
can't
what?
say-
I'm a hodl. It's not over, baby.
I got diamond
not over.
hands. I got diamond
Diamond
hands.
hands.
He's in it for the long run.
I will say I have not purchased any NFTs, any crypto, anything in months and months now. So it's all hodl and it's hodl and pray.
Hey, you
On
guys
Apex
check.
Legends. That's the big thing I'm covering right now. YouTube Shorts on it. That's been
Speaking-
huge.
the what?
I started I was looking at all my analytics on YouTube Shorts because I'm just like what the fuck is YouTube Shorts? What is it gonna do? What's it's gonna turn
TikTok
into?
knockoff.
But YouTube is pushing it hard,
I know.
and
I fucking hate it.
they have the
Yeah.
capability to do it. And so I was looking at my numbers, and I realized that even when I put out YouTube short board game content, it was an astronomically low percentage of my return. It wasn't my viewers watching it. It was just they randomly show it to people. And so I started to use YouTube Shorts as just a way to cover anything, make it more like blog posts, like funny stuff, little skits and whatnot. And so I just on a whim started to do a couple 40-second videos on Apex Legends, which has, it's had, I think 100 million people up to that point playing it. Now it's down a little bit, but it's still one of the most popular games on the planet. And they're hitting huge. Yesterday was my biggest subscriber day ever. I gained 99 subscribers yesterday. 2 days before that was my other biggest subscriber day ever when I hit 93. The day sandwich in between that was 77. And the only videos I'm putting up are me doing stupid bullshit challenges in Apex Legends. But it's getting this really fervent people who are like, this is great. It's awesome. Because all this Apex Legends content is just sweaty Apex Predators who are, amazing. And there's not enough people like you who are just who are not that great. But then there's the other people why are you in ranked? You're completely ruining the game for everyone. And so they're fighting each other. They argue in the comments, but it pushes the video up. And it's I don't know if this is going to go down or going to go up, but I am watering the snot out of it right now. And
Is it making money?
Well, if that's
There's the thing.
So Forrest, you are going to just continue making that stuff, right? Because that's what people are showing up to watch.
Yes, unless it costs me a good deal of money, Lance, like the Splinterlands one. But I could share my screen if you want to see it. It's insane. But actually, this is interesting.
Insane.
My money has gone down that I've earned on a daily basis, but I think it's a trade-off because I've really taken the foot off the gas on board game content to do. I only put out two videos a day. That's taking the foot off the gas. And I've been focusing a lot more on the shorts just because right now the iron's so hot, and I see the subscribers as long-term investment. But man,
Geek and Sundry had over 2 million subscribers.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Had or still has?
They do, but
They're
they
still
put up a
around.
video and nobody watches it.
But Scott, you
Really?
say no one. You have expectations that are way different than my expectations.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying subscribers are, I don't know how you keep them engaged.
Well, here's the thing,
I
Scott,
guess
and
you
I
have to
want to
keep
throw out one really good point. My quality of life has gone up substantially because some random company in China sent me a fan. Why did they send me a fan? Because I have a technology and I have 10,000 subscribers. So while those numbers may be artificial, they are going to gain me access to a lot more things that I want to do.
No, I'm not trying. No, I didn't mean to.
I'm
wasn't
not getting
trying
defensive.
to
I'm pumped.
yeah,
I'm so excited
diminish.
right now to talk about.
I didn't try to diminish your.
I
was
get it.
just
I get it.
wondering,
I get it.
Because 2.2 million something subscribers on Greek and Sundry, and I'm like, they did a video and they're maybe 5,000 views or something, which is weird, right? So there's somehow their subscriber base is still there, but they don't watch anything.
Well, that'll happen when you make dog shit how to play videos that don't actually teach you how to play the game completely. those videos, they piss me off. I click on one, I'm like, I know you're not going to teach me everything. I know I'm going to have to, because there's a
Just
Yeah.
throwing shade left and
Don't-
right.
Don't
Okay,
hold,
anyway.
don't
All
hold
right, so
back.
should-
videos are
sure.
not helpful. They're previews. Call them previews. They are not how to play.
Don't hold back. Say what you really feel.
I am pumped up. Like I am so.
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
I'm just in such a
Yeah,
good.
if you look at the last 7 months of Geek and Sundry videos, it's not 2.2 million subscribers. Kind of
So
stuff.
I just got, speaking of videos, I just got an update to the Dice Coins thing. I want to
Oh,
share
yeah.
my screen and show you guys.
Hey, those
This
Oh,
is
yeah.
those
fucking,
look good.
this is eye candy right here.
Yeah, they look good. I want.
Oh, check this out.
Oh, okay.
You zoom it out a little bit. Oh wait, no, never mind. I'm an idiot. Never mind.
Video.
We know
Wow.
Forrest.
Is that a
Whoa.
rendering?
Mhm.
This is a render video. Yeah.
That looks. Is this going to be
So,
part of the Kickstarter
what-
video?
You think it'll look like that?
No, but
Yeah.
Do-
we're gonna
do you
bait
know-
and switch like our ass. Like,
This
Do you
is
know-
amazing.
Do
This
you
is
know
in
what
the
the-
video, right? Hey Matt, this is going to be in the Kickstarter video, right?
probably.
Yeah. I
Do
was
you know
gonna
what
say,
the
this is-
material is going to be? Is it plastic, resin?
No, it's metal.
That
Oh,
looks
that's awesome.
amazing.
So if we go to
That looks like a real winner there. That is wow.
It's a wiener.
That doesn't look like
Yeah.
anything else I've seen before either on Kickstarter.
They have a
That's-
toilet on Kickstarter. Holy shit!
Yeah, but I hear it's the shit.
Yeah.
Wait, there's a toilet on Kickstarter right now. I got to cover that.
so we have all the
Oh
this is the
God,
page.
ours is installed a toilet.
Oh no, that's a bidet, Barry. God, get with it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just used the toilet shaped thing.
I've
If
got a
it's a-
bidet at home. I'm going to cover it. I love bidets.
If it's a Toto washlet, definitely worth coverage.
How'd you do the video? How did you do those animated?
We had a 3D guy do it for us.
Okay.
That is
Is that a
pretty
GIF? Is that GIF?
It is a
Oh.
GIF. Yes, it is.
GIF?
Oh,
It's graphics interchange format, not graphics interchange
It's-
format.
The creator of GIF called it a
Look,
GIF.
yeah, I was
No,
gonna
that-
say.
It's bullshit. GIF is peanut butter. GIF is a video thing.
It's a GIF.
I'm with Scott.
If-
Once I found
if-
out the designer said it, it's like there.
Yeah,
it's
the
over.
designer said it. So
He
how
gets
should
to
know? You
choose.
should know.
He gets to choose. Come on.
Yes, he gets to name the damn thing.
So there's
Most-
He
the
died. by the way.
Did he?
Yeah, he did.
so those are all the 7 of them. 7.
So,
Put him in an early grave.
They're
Who's-
50. They're 2 inches wide.
That's pretty sweet.
Wow, those
They
are
look good, man. I hope they come out that way.
Who's
yeah,
doing
dude,
the-
those
what
Who's
are
doing
they?
the manufacturing?
It's a buddy of mine, Tanner. He did a couple other things.
So he's made the molds and he's doing all this stuff for you from the
No, 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 no.
files?
I'm not doing this. Is me working on their page. This is like he's an inventor. He's getting them done in China.
Got it.
Yeah, no, they're gonna be amazing. I mean, like randomness aside, these things are gonna kill, I think.
Yeah,
So-
I agree.
they will.
I mean, as long as you can get people to see in that 3D spinning thing, and just the price isn't outside insane, like that is drop dead gorgeous.
I think for a set of 7, it's $100.
Wow.
But I mean, they're metal
Nice.
coins.
I
It's
mean, dice are super expensive.
what we're
Better
trying to
have it.
do with stretch goals is get some RPG authors to do adventure paths or just modules or one shots or whatever that use these in the lore of the adventure.
Huh. In the same type of mythos. I mean, the same
Well,
type of
they'll have
role-playing
like a
system?
5e adventure where you have to go. You'll do
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a 7-leg adventure where you're trying to get one of the coins out of each of the legs, and then
Got it.
That's a really
Yeah.
interesting idea.
that kind of thing.
That's really
So-
cool.
Man, have them partner with Dwarven Forge and do a whole set thing.
Oh, Dire Wolf Digital reached out to me yesterday,
Nice.
so I'm pretty jazzed.
What are they
I
doing?
don't. They just said we got projects coming up. What's your availability like? I'm like, let's talk.
Oh yeah.
Because right now it's shitty, but let's talk.
Nice. Nice.
Your
Yeah.
availability is shitty.
Yeah, we're so fucking
Small.
like I interviewed on Friday for another person,
Wow.
not a 5th person. So
Congratulations.
Good problem to have.
I also have to utilize my people more than I currently am, because
Do you have a manager or are you the manager?
what has two
I'm just
thumbs?
wondering. Yeah.
I wish. I mean, like right now, there are certain things that I could delegate, but the day-to-day managing of the projects, I can't offload that quite yet. I wish I could, but
Is it a capability issue or a trust issue?
So it's probably a trust issue because I don't think anybody else is capable right now.
Okay,
Does that make sense?
fair enough. Fair enough.
So I don't trust that anybody else could do it. So both. Yeah, just because right now, I mean, my name is the business, right? So it's
Yeah.
I'd like to. I mean, there are certain things like I'm still doing social here and there as well. If I could offload the social stuff and I mean, I'm doing social very poorly, but at least I don't have to worry about.
Do you think you get a lot of leads on social? Like,
I don't think so.
I
But
always
it's
wonder,
fun.
does social get us anything?
For me,
I mean,
not probably not. It's funny. Like I contracted somebody to shoot Merchants of the Dark Road, and I said a couple of weeks ago, I said, oh, I'll send you my photography style guide. She's like, great. Then a couple of days ago, she's like, can you send that guide over? I'm like, sure, as soon as I write it. So the other night I wrote it, I designed it, and then I sent it to her in the morning. I'm like, wait a minute, I should post this and say, if you're a publisher and you want to have some consistent style to your photographs, we can do that for you.
Oh yeah, I saw you post that actually.
Yeah.
So I mean,
That's cool.
why if I'm going to put the work into it, I might as well.
Do publishers put money into that?
Pardon?
Did they put money into photographing their own games?
I don't know. I mean,
I don't know if I've ever seen not very many of them do.
I pay money to get my games shot.
I just wondering like what the trends are now.
I know.
Because,
I know a friend of mine.
There's a game on Kickstarter right now with 2 pictures on BGG, and like they suck. They suck.
Yeah.
Like they're cropped wrong. They're not even like
Oh yeah.
just completely like. Why?
I know people like David Bach and his wife shoot games, and they get pretty good money for a dozen photos.
Okay.
But they're beautiful. They're thematically set, so there's like smoke in the background and colored lights that are shot on. They're really kind of they're like mise en scène kind of curated shots. I just don't have the money for that. It's like, $1,000.
Yeah.
But anyways.
Good luck with the job search there.
Are you gonna share your screen there, Roar?
You're not sharing.
Who?
Who, me?
Yeah, were you gonna show us your
What?
stats?
Yeah.
Oh, you talking to me?
He's talking to the forest, Matt.
Oh, sorry, I was
I
working.
thought so. I'm like,
Oh no, I thought Forrest was I thought he was gonna
Yeah,
share a
yeah.
screen.
Well, Forrest is like a shark. When he
All right.
stops talking, he like almost dies,
I just got like 4 separate things I'm working on right now, and a little bit each time. Yeah. I'm just over the moon the last few days. How do I share the screen? Let's see the buttons. There it is. Share the screen. Yes, it's ticket share. All right. Yeah. So it's just
nice.
like, and if you go back like 365 days, just for example, like
That's
it's
a good amount of subscribers in a month.
Wow, nice.
like those
Oh
are
wow, yeah, there you are.
and so this is the last 48 hour statistics here. And so in the last 48 hours, I've had 3 videos that have gotten at least 14.
20,000. Wow.
Yeah. Now, granted, they're YouTube shorts, and I like when people say, "Oh, I got 1 billion views on TikTok." I'm like, TikTok view counts are just bullshit, and these are bullshit too. But they're gonna boost my YouTube numbers, which is fantastic. But money wise, yeah, they don't make anything at all. Like there's a theory how it works is there's a
Like a
big
net.
pool of money, and they spread it out to a bunch of people every month. I've yet to be in that group of people.
Yeah.
But I just like all these were posted in like, the last few weeks. I've really just started to do it. And I'm really like, I'm making it so at the end of every video, it's like you can subscribe or you can see more of these videos. And I just keep, putting more in there. Now there's like 60 of them in there. I'm starting to get people, getting into like little loops. And so more of these videos are going to get more popular. And and generally how it works, and I click on one is, where is it? You can see exactly, no, this is a beautiful one. Let me pull up another one. Now, typically how YouTube Shorts works is you can get your YouTube short onto the short shelf. And that's where it just randomly gets shown to a bunch of people that are interested in that particular topic. Let's see if this is it. So normally you'll see like huge spikes. No, this one's, damn. You'll see huge spikes in the video like this, and then they die off. But now I'm starting to just see consistent creeping upward. And I'm pretty sure videos are starting to bounce off other videos. But the biggest one I had was, I got like 120 something thousand views in a week and a half.
Wow.
And that's the thing is, it's an evergreen video. It's just, it's not like,
It didn't even give you like $1.
What?
Didn't even make it like $1.
No, I have not made any. I've turned on monetization right now. It's so early. YouTube Shorts are in this.
Shorts don't have any ads in them, do they?
No, I don't think so. I don't know how it works, honestly, that well. And they haven't, YouTube right now is figuring out what the hell they're going to do with this. I think they're going to see how well they do against TikTok and go from there. But the bottom line is, if they do lean into it more, I feel like I'm an early adopter on this sort of thing. And it's weird to me because I thought what was going to happen was I was going to have a bunch of the board game crowd like, oh, you're posting a whole bunch of these. But they did like the YouTube Shorts and my Bowers Game Corner videos. They're like two separate worlds, and it's bizarre to me. It's almost like I have two separate audiences, one on YouTube Shorts and then one completely on just regular videos. And either way, though, like it's just I just keep putting out more of these, and I just feel like they're just going to keep getting bigger, and I don't know how big they're going to get.
Well, you need to basically get sponsorship for your shorts then.
Yes.
Yeah. Like you need to say, I can do this. G Fuel, yeah, G Fuel.
Well, the other thing is, I don't like my numbers, and I can actually go back to the amount earned have actually started to go down a little bit. But once again, I'm pretty sure it's just because I've been putting so much extra, emphasis on, there we go, last 90 days. And they're not even down that much. Like I typically average, 10, 12, $13 a day. And I think it's just because I'm not doing as many Kickstarter critiques. I actually do gain a good chunk of change on the Kickstarter critiques. Even like a Kickstarter critique that doesn't get that many views will still make like 50 cents, 75 cents. And the ones that do, they can make 10, $15. But it's a roller coaster right now. And you look at my top videos over the last 48 hours, they're all pretty much just YouTube Shorts of Apex Legends.
Mm-hmm.
And the best part is no effort. It literally, the style is that I try and bring you in. A couple of you played Apex Legends. Each game of Apex Legends is its own separate little adventure. Where you land, the guns you have, the crew you have, the people you run into, the special abilities. Every single time you queue into Apex Legends, it's a different story you make. And so I just try and capture that story, but then I do stupid challenges. So like one character can make zip lines as their ultimate. And so one of my most popular videos was just like, hey, how many ultimates can I get? How many can, and I just do stupid crap and people seem to enjoy it. And so it's me just dicking around on Apex Legends and people are eating it up. And it's, they're not well shot. It's all on my cell phone camera. It's jerky, but it fits the theme because it's like, oh, I'm freaking out because there's two people over the hill right there. And people are digging it. And I'm trying to pinpoint how I can just make it bigger.
There's no comments on those things, is there?
Oh, there's tons. Yeah, it's fun. My comment section is now a blast and a half.
Well, you should switch to video games, dude.
Start
doing video game reviews.
I mean, yeah, I'm getting.
I mean, mine as well, right? Like,
well, this is what I'm covering more video game stuff, and I'm still going to do board games because it's my passion. I love board games, but yeah, I'm gonna do both. And I'm just excited to see. Like I am.
Well, I mean, I mean, embrace the trends.
100 million people played Apex Legends before.
Do what you're getting traction on.
Yeah. They played a whole bunch of cool board games tonight too. So best of both worlds.
Cool.
Oh wait, stop
Cool.
shooting. Bam. Anyway, I'm done with that. I'm just over the moon. Giddy. The last few days have been amazing.
Congratulations.
Yes, congratulations.
Completely
Kids back to
unexpected
school?
turn.
Your kids back to school?
Kids back to school, babies. Yeah, my baby. I did a baby
Baby's not
life
in
hack
school yet.
today. But yeah, just me and baby Amelia, and she sleeps a lot. And when she's not asleep, we play, and she
Are you
shoots
teaching
videos
right
with me.
now?
What?
Are you working right now?
No, I take care of. We got a 5-month-old. I just take care of her, pick
Oh,
up the
okay,
kids, clean the house, work on YouTube.
You were a teacher, right?
I worked at childcare, but yeah, I got a teaching degree.
Okay. Any more aspirations for politics?
Yeah, yeah, I'm running 2027.
Nice.
2023, I'm still gonna have Amelia. At home.
7.
Well, in 2023, I'm still gonna have Amelia at home, and
Okay.
once she goes to preschool, I can devote a couple hours every day instead of doing whatever I'm doing to.
We might have democracy, but still,
One can hope.
when we
Either
hope-
way, I want to get a nice L under my belt
Mhm.
before I give up on it, like a good one where I raced. I had campaign posters. I wanted to do a little shebang, but yeah, it's in the future. My Apex Legends fans will vote me in.
Yeah.
Get that
Yeah.
18 to 25 demographic that nobody else can get.
Just get them to hack into the ballot boxes. You're good to go.
Mhm.
Never heard that's real easy.
Their compu- Did you see the guy that bought the ballot box at the Salvation or at the thrift store?
No, I didn't.
I heard about
What
it.
did you?
He bought one of the ballot boxes at
he
a
bought
freaking
a
thrift store
Dominion.
for $20.
Yeah, they. I think he got investigated, right? Or no, he called the government to.
And they're like, "Don't touch it. Leave
Yeah,
it there. We're coming to get it."
Did he touch it?
Got a picture of him touching it.
Like touching it? Touch. Well, that's how they get you.
Yeah.
I had the BGG library party this weekend. We
The
punched,
punch party. I saw that.
punched and packed a bunch of games up.
How long
for
that take?
Nice.
all day.
Hold on. Some dog's barking.
All day.
Yeah, we start at noon and it goes till like 9-10 o'clock at night.
Dang.
Wow.
And
What
then
are
you
your
gotta-
fingers?
We play games too. It's not all work. It's
Oh, okay. I thought it was
It's
like,
not
what do your
like
fingers
solid.
look like after 9 hours of punching?
Oh,
Then you got to
God.
do it again.
most
Scott?
of the games had been punched at Gen Con. We were just like rechecking them all to make sure they were all bagged and ready to
Yeah.
roll. What did you say, Barry?
Then you got to do it again when these guys come back from messing.
Yeah. We probably do it maybe 2 or 3 times
Wow.
after Essen. Probably 2 times.
So what happens when you find the game's missing pieces?
Well, if we have spares of lots of stuff, so
Good.
usually people
Gotcha.
like report it. There's like this is missing so many, and it only really matters if the critical pieces are missing, right?
Right.
But we usually don't. It usually doesn't happen that often.
Good.
Now, onesie twosie pieces are missing all, because conventions like
Right.
they set out this piece bulletin board. There's like push pins with bags and says, "What game is this?" And if you know, you can write on the bulletin board just to say, "This is from this is from
Oh, that's great.
whatever
That's a good
game."
idea.
People,
Yeah.
There's constantly like people trying to put things back. Yeah, it's
So-
weird how many
so-
pieces get put on the floor at a convention.
That reminds me, my buddy who was over tonight, he's a fan of this Reddit, the subreddit. I forget what it's called. It's like, what is this or something, where people will post pictures
Yeah.
and say, what is this? And someone will say, so apparently someone posted a picture of a landmine and someone responded, oh my God, you found a Roomba. Pull the pin and it will clean up your room.
A Roomba.
Oh.
Yeah.
I went up. My wife had our company had a picnic outing thing at it used to be the DuPont land up here in Delaware. It's we drove by where Biden lives and all that. It's a real classy place, I guess. Somewhere I did not belong, but they did the same thing last year, which was the first year, and they basically halved it this year. Like all the games and the stuff that were there, the food carts and stuff were there. They basically took it in half. And I'm like, wow, it must not have had a great year this year or something. I guess that cruise they paid for didn't pan out so well.
How was the crowd this year?
There was, 6 stores involved, I think.
Hmm.
5. 6. So we were only there for like 2 hours. But there was about 1,000 people, I guess. And they were coming and going. And they were running it from we got there around 4, I guess, and we left about 6. But they were running from I think around noon till 8 at night. So people were coming and going from the the different shifts and all.
That's cool.
Yeah. She was telling me the theft in the department in the stores is unreal. She was saying like it's 35 grand a week.
What's the
Wow.
I read in my paper about that, actually. I was at the gas station. I was looking at that. Yeah, that's crazy.
What
Unreal.
stores?
She works at ShopRite of Delaware.
All of them, man. Walmart, Target, they're all like getting blasted right now.
Yeah,
When
I
we
think
were
I
visit-
saw people are installing those. They're putting everything in security cabinets. I'm like, how do you get anything from the store?
She was telling me somebody stole a mini fridge and packed the mini fridge with stuff and just walked out the door with it.
I mean, if you're gonna go
we,
in for
we
a
were
dollar, in for a dime.
we were visiting my kids in Seattle a couple months ago, and in the middle of town there's a Target, and it's 3 floors of Target. You've got your grocery store in the bottom, and then different departments up top, right? And we're paying for our stuff, and this guy runs out. He's stealing something. He's fucking running out with a 57-inch TV in the box. And the striker was like, hey, stop. He makes it out the door. He goes through the freaking revolving door, and it smacks the box. You can hear the TV break. He gets on the street. He makes a run for it. They just give up. I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah, there's
The
a no
balls-
chase rule now, right?
No, yeah. And
Yeah,
so,
no, the store. There's no point for them to chase.
It's
No.
not.
yeah, the
I was-
insurance, the insurance covers it. But the best part of the story is we're walking back and we're kind of leisurely strolling. We get like 2 blocks away. He's sitting on the street corner with the for sale sign on the fucking TV.
Well, okay, so they just recently a guy got arrested. He was in a Walmart. He stole like 4 TVs, and they caught him in the parking lot of the Walmart selling them out of the back of the store.
I saw that.
At least go a block away, right?
And here's the kicker: the guy's last name was Kirkland. For
Uh,
those of you with a Costco membership.
Oh my God,
It's
that's
nuts.
too funny.
I was talking. I have a neighbor of mine is a cop from Maryland, and he was saying they got rid of the petty crime thing. Like if you commit something small, they're not going to follow up with it. But he was telling me in Baltimore, it turned out that these kids started like going up to your car to wipe off your windshield and expecting money, and if you didn't pay them, they start beating on the car. And one guy got out to defend himself and got killed.
Oh, wow.
It's just going to ramp up like that. Yeah, I should stop fucking with him though. I made pulled pork last week or something, and he had some. He had to work, but he had some later on that day. And he came over. And he's like, the pulled pork was good. I was like, I didn't know you were a carnivore. I mean, a cannibal. And he took a minute. He's like, what do you mean you're a pig, asshole?
You got cannibal friends.
Yeah, I should have stopped fucking with him. Yeah, but it's nuts. Like my uncle was telling me up in Pennsylvania and Philly, it's the same thing that petty crime thing. They got it's just going to ramp up into people getting hurt or worse.
I know that Walmart, my daughter's boyfriend used to work at Walmart, and they had some unbelievably high limit on what they would actually chase you down for. If it was like less than, I forget what it was, but it was at least several $100s. And you walked out with it, they didn't give a shit. It wasn't worth their time and their risk
Yeah.
to chase you down.
Yeah, employee gets hurt, it's going to cost way more than whatever the hell they're stealing.
Exactly.
Oh yeah. How many
Exactly.
employees really want to nowadays risk their lives on a TV?
It's funny because occasionally you'll go to a shop, at least for me, where I ask someone, can you tell me where this is? And they'll say, yes, let me show you. And they'll walk you to it.
Right.
And I always feel like I'm not worthy. This is like something I don't expect it anymore. And maybe we should expect that from people working in shops. I don't know.
Nice.
I'm with you. I went to Lowe's and I got so pissed off at this lady at the register because I just asked her a question, but it was like she didn't want to work. It's like she didn't. I understand you don't want to be there, but it's like a lot of employees were there, were like that there. But again, today I was there and I asked the guy for picket fencing is what I was looking for, and they moved it, and he knew exactly where it was. So I guess it's just your luck. Yeah.
I was at Meyer the other day and I was looking for something and this woman says, what are you looking for? I said, well, do you work here? She says, no, I'm a vendor, but what do you want? And I told her, she says, oh, I can tell you where that is. I'm like, well, that was awfully helpful. I'm going to come back to this store now.
Yeah.
That was kind of nice.
Yeah.
You ever been in a store and somebody approaches you because they think you work there?
Oh yeah.
They're like,
At
"Could you
Target
tell
all the
me-
time because I had
Could
a
you
red
tell
shirt.
me?
Wear a red shirt at Target, you'll get asked a question.
Could you tell me where? I got no clue.
Mhm.
I don't know. When I was in New York, I picked up sort of the don't fuck with me face. And so I find that people don't approach me if I have that face on, and it's become my default face when I'm in a store.
Well, you're Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
Also,
Well,
Yes, yes, I am.
So the world in the day when I worked at US Bank, the whole Dilbert thing of if you walk with a piece of paper in your hand and you look annoyed,
Yes.
like nobody's gonna ask you what's going on, right?
Right.
So I learned that, it's like when I was gonna go over to some other department just to, shoot the bull with one of my buddies that worked there. Yeah, every single time. Just get a couple pieces of paper that have like some, it's like scribbled on notes that I've been doodling for like the last half hour, and then just walk over like this, just angry. And they're like, so hey Lance, could you? Yeah, you look busy. Don't worry about it.
So where I worked, it used to be if you had your phone up, no one would bother you. You walk around, you got your phone up, people think you're busy. They leave you alone. And now they've passed this HR resolution where no phones allowed out while you're walking, or get in trouble with HR. So now that that's done, people don't know. They don't know that rule. They don't know how to deal with not being bothered when they walk because they don't have their phone as their crutch anymore.
I remember like the guy who ran the big giant building, the associate vice president of whatever that was in my area for that. I remember he had a BlackBerry and he lived on that thing. When he got out of his cube to go and do that, was the big thing about US Bank was nobody had an office. Everybody had a cube, meaning that you could walk up and like there wasn't anybody behind a door somewhere,
right?
Like there wasn't approachable. It was like but everywhere he got up and that BlackBerry was in his hand. I mean, he was probably checking sports scores, but man, he just had that and he looked straight down at it the entire time. He didn't want to get stopped by anybody that would ask him any questions.
We had so many people tripping, falling on stairs, walking into things and getting hurt, looking at their phones while they were walking and doing stuff that the amount of injuries and time we were losing for people, it just became too much. And now there's this corporate wide mandate of you will not have your phone out while you're walking. You want to take a call, stop and take the call. It's even smaller. You stop and take the call. If you're caught walking with your phone, they can report it to security. It's really, it's a bit draconian. I mean, but I understand where they're coming from. I don't like it, but it's interesting how it's evolved that way.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Have a good night, everybody. I'm taking off.
Okay, Matthew.
See ya.
Later, man.
Gute Nacht.
Yeah.
Morris, stop that. Go on, guys. He's just messing with my stuff. Look at me. And then the thing is, he'll keep messing with it until I stand up, and then he'll run away because he'll know, oh, he isn't standing up. He's not mad yet.
Cat.
So you'll appreciate this, Lance. Does anyone else have a dog besides me and Lance?
I don't know anymore.
So my older dog, Loki, I have two Newfies. Loki came up to me the other day, and he's got this habit of looking at you, and you say, "What do you want?" And he may give you one woof, one deep woof. I'm like, "Look, I know you've been fed. I know you have water. I just let you out. What can you possibly want?" He woofed at me again. I said, "Seriously, I have no idea." He did this. He went. He shook his head and walked away. It's like, how stupid are you, human? I'm disgusted with you.
Can't read my mind.
I
Yeah.
know, right? It was hilarious.
Oh yeah, I mean, dogs have a lot of character.
It's a Newfie.
Newfoundland.
Oh, okay.
Wonderful dogs. Smart as a whip too.
Whip
Yeah.
smart.
Smarter than Jim, apparently. It knows
That is not a high hurdle, Barry.
Got a point. Sorry.
The only thing that will piss me off is if you think a Chihuahua is smarter than me. Wait, they probably are. Just don't say it out loud.
Yeah, they're dumb dogs.
They're
Yappy
oxygen.
things.
They're oxygen thieves, is what they are.
Ankle biters.
Yeah,
my stepfather had a Chihuahua Pekingese mix. That was a fun dog.
I mean, my question to you would be why?
Yeah, that was my. Yes, and I was. She was okay, but she was a yappy little fucker.
Yeah, and it's kind of upsetting that the smaller the dog, the longer the lifespan. Because the smaller the dog, the
Yeah.
more yappy and irritating they are, and you got to live with it for so much longer.
It amazes me they all came
College had
from
a
wolves.
Toy poodle that was just like every time he left, it would wail and wail and wail, and it was just so annoying.
Hey,
Hated
did you
that
see
dog.
that Witches of the Coast sued new TSR?
Oh, was that for some?
Which one is that?
Oh, okay.
That was for was it the racist stuff?
So new TSR is that ridiculous Ernie Gygax, Justin Lanasa. So the hobby store / museum, which is like what I've heard is it's kind of neat to like go to Lake Geneva and you go to the house that Gary Gygax grew up in that like has been basically was turned into both a hobby store / museum. They just have, things from the past, like, oh, this is the chair and that Gary Gygax wrote D&D on and stuff like that. But anyway, the guy who owns that is this guy named Justin Lanasa, and then Ernie Gygax is Gary Gygax's oldest son. And Justin Lanasa sounds, I mean, if you Google him, you'll find more than enough. He sounds like he's a racist, misogynist, homophobic piece of shit, and who's crazy, like just like literally like a complete nutball. Just like sues
Allegedly.
anybody.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. You draw your own conclusions. You Google them and draw your own conclusions and figure it out, So, but yeah, no, he like throws lawsuits left and right, and then and so anyway, they basically were like, oh, we're gonna make the new Star Frontiers game, even though it's like, because they allege that if you ever Google TSR and like how like the rights to the name TSR, how they work, it's completely crazy. It's like when Wizards of the Coast, like
I never understood it.
yeah, when Wizards of the Coast bought out D&D, one of the things they bought out with it was TSR. But there was, and I don't take this as 100%. Kabuki Kid probably has a better memory of this, but basically in a really weird moment of whatever, like WotC forgot to re-up the trademark for it or the copyright for it or something like that, and it was just sitting out there, and some guy just got it that isn't Ernie Gygax or Justin Lawson. Just, oh hey, it's sitting out here, and he spent the money and he got it, and then he had the rights to the name TSR, and then something weird happened to it after that. But it's murky at best. But so they wanted to publish this new version of Star Frontiers, but the whole thing is that they can't call it Star Frontiers because no matter what, Wizards of the Coast owns Star Frontiers, so they were naming it something else, but it's enough alike or whatever like that. Plus they had all these like weird, incredibly like awful racist things going on. Like there was I mean, I haven't, this is just me reading the article about and reading the actual lawsuit. Like one of the races within the new Star Frontiers was described as being a dark-skinned race, but they were like, they had a maximum intelligence of 9 and were considered to be like a sub race or subhumans.
Oh,
But
Jesus.
there was like a Nordic race of these white people and pure white people that had a minimum intelligence of 13 and were considered to be like the great ones and stuff like that. Yeah, again, I'm just reading the article. I've not read my,
Wow.
but the PDF of it got leaked out and people read it. Anyway, Wizards of the Coast just sued the bejesus out of them.
Good for them.
Good for them.
Good for
Yes,
them.
we're going to take all your money and make sure you can't do anything. We don't care if you are Ernie Gygax. Sorry. See you later.
Wow. Yeah, be careful with whom you associate.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, there you go.
Did not hear
Anyway, no, yeah, if you want to, you can definitely Google it up and check it out. But there you go. You know what's weird? Okay, so also not George Lazenby. If any of you know who that is. Anyone? George Lazenby?
Who?
George Lazenby.
No.
I always thought it was Lazenby, but Kabuki Kid will get it, you know, because she just knows all this stuff. George Lazenby. George Lazenby made the news because he's 84 years old and Australian and white, and he was at some like conference or whatever, and he, you know, as a product of his time, just made some incredibly incorrect statements that could be construed as misogynist and racist.
Come
and
on.
He apologized for it. George Lazenby was who played James Bond in one movie.
Yeah.
In one movie
Oh.
after
Oh,
Sean
Casino
Connery.
Royale?
After Connery.
Her Majesty, was it?
No,
Casino
not
Royale?
Casino Royale, because
Oh.
Casino Royale is not considered to be a true, but on Her Majesty's
On Her
Secret
Majesty's
Service
Service, yeah.
is the name of it. And I went back and I saw that, and I went back and I watched it because it'd been a good 5, 6, 7 years since I'd watched On Her Majesty's Secret Service. So I will say this: current whatever kerfuffles of his being, like I said, 84 years old and saying something stupid, and I'm not trying to absolve him of that. It's just like whatever, he should know better. But Connery is king as far as James Bond goes. Connery is king, and I've always had a soft spot for Timothy Dalton as
GoldenEye is like my favorite movie.
that's Remington Steele, but
Isn't that
or
like Timothy Dalton?
that's Pierce Brosnan.
Oh, Pierce Brosnan. Never mind.
That's Pierce Brosnan. GoldenEye is good. Yes, I would. But I've always had a soft spot for Timothy Dalton because License to Kill is one of my favorite James
License
Bond
to Ill.
License to Kill,
Eh.
where Yeah.
He didn't
So
get
he
it.
but we'll talk about License to Kill here in just a second. But on Her Majesty's Secret Service, that Lazenby does a really, really good job, and that is a good movie. I mean, I mean, it's one of those things. It's very. I mean, it is a. And if you read up on how he got the job, he basically bullshitted his way into the role. He was a male model, and like
Yeah.
basically, and like somebody suggested that he try acting, and he basically kind of just showed up, and they're like, "Oh, what have you done?" And he just basically made shit up. He was like, "Oh yeah, I was in this, and I was in this, and I was in this, and I've done this." And like, oh well, this and this role will call for you to be able to drive cars and do this. He's like, oh, I used to race cars when I was 17 years old, so I mean, if you want me, I can do my own stunts. I'm a black belt in karate, so if you need me to do hand to hand, I can do that. And then like he basically he bullshitted his way into the role, and then got it. But anyway, so License to Kill is fantastic because it is the true James Bond revenge movie. It's because his the bad guy nearly kills his best friend at the CIA, kills his best friend's wife, kills his cohort, basically, and he just, and that's the whole thing is they come and try to take. They said, Bond, your license to kill has been revoked. And they try to take him into custody when he's in the British consulate and whatever. And he takes off and runs, and he escapes, and he just basically he goes at it on his own, and tries to, and then gets his ultimate revenge. And he's got all the good lines, and before he takes somebody out or anything like that. Good stuff. But anyway, I really like Timothy Dalton.
But do you viscerally hate the villain, or is he over the top?
Well, and the villain is really good. I can't think of his name, but if you see a picture of him, and the villain has some of the best lines in the entire movie. As he's like a Colombian drug lord, and one of the things is Bond convinces him that one of his henchmen is betraying him, and so the guy kills him basically in this decompression unit, a totally farcical way to kill the person that basically causes the guy's body to rupture, and so
Hey, James.
yeah, and so basically blows his up and whatever, and but all of his, because the guy said, I didn't take your money, but then he had his money in this little decompression chamber, and so then they kill him, and it causes his body to explode, and his buddy says, what should I do with the money? And he looks at him and goes, launder it. Because it's covered in blood and gristle and stuff. Yeah, but launder it, ha ha ha.
Board games
and then
are Barry's here. Barry's the other Barry.
Yeah. Oh, when he tries to when he tries to kill the CIA guy Felix, he throws him into a shark pen, and then the shark nearly kills him, bites him and stuff like that. And then when they find his body, he left a note on his body that said, his nearly dead body, said he disagreed with something that ate him. I mean, he had some of the best.
So you watch this movie?
Oh yeah, this is one of my. Bond movies are great, man.
Oh yeah,
are they?
Oh yeah, just as great background filler too.
I remember.
I don't know if I agree with that statement.
So I remember when there was this one guy, and I wish I could track him down and just say hi, but there was this one guy that was on that played World of Warcraft in the same guild as me, and he all of his characters started with the letter Q. It was so one of the guy's name was Quick Kill, and one of the guys was Quiet, and all these names. But I remember we'd be playing, and he'd be doing his own thing, I'd be doing my own thing, and then he would send me a message in the game. He said, Goldfinger on TNT right now. And because we were both big, and then I turn my TV to go watch, and because TNT was be running like a James Bond marathon, and I would just like Forrest said, it's just they're good. I mean, some of the Roger Moore stuff. See, there's a couple really good Roger Moore, but then there's movies like Moonraker, which were just horrible.
Goofy, but
Yeah, I mean,
I liked it as a kid.
But
Just
yeah,
the set pieces. I mean, in the background, I just like the set pieces. You follow the story a little bit, but like, oh, we're on a train. There's gunfight,
Well, and if I remember correctly, like On Her Majesty's Secret Service, that's the one that has Telly Savalas playing the evil guy, and he just chews the scenery as the bad guy. And he does a great job.
Yeah.
Go
They did
ahead.
like a I think it was a docu-series on that actor, the Aussie guy playing 007
Yeah,
on Amazon. Trying to remember the name of it.
I don't know.
But it was
But
a
like
pretty interesting
you
thing.
go watch The Spy Who Loved Me. That's a great Roger Moore one. He's great in that. Has one of the best openings too when he's skiing.
Great theme song.
Oh, the Carly Simon. It's the best. It's the best. I mean, it's the best Bond theme song ever.
That and Goldfinger. Shirley Bassey kicked that out of the park. It was
Goldfinger is great, but I got to give it to Carly Simon.
I agree.
I mean, but just the whole thing where he's skiing and like he spot like the first like 10 guys that are skiing after him, and he looks and there's like 50 guys coming down the mountain trying skiing after him, and then he just skis right off the cliff, and you're like, what? And then pulls the ripcord, the Union Jack parachute pops up, and then cue nobody does it better. The Spy Who Loved Me. That's a good one.
I'd love to stick around, but it's late here, and I've got to go release a poison gas cloud over Metropolis in the morning. So
Okay.
don't you first have to send
Busy
out
day.
your threat of great violence? Have you ever so Superman comics? I never really thought Superman comics were as good as Batman, but like one with Lex Luthor in it. I'm trying to remember, is it Superman for All Seasons, or is it's not Superman? Superman Red Sun. It's
the Russian one.
Yeah, you said you've talked about this one before.
Yeah, I know, but go and read that, because Lex Luthor is that's like when it's like, what if Superman decided he was just like, wait a minute, I am the most powerful person on this planet. I'm going to do what's best for everybody all the time, and because you need to just let me pick these things. And then Lex Luthor is just Lex Luthor, and go read that one. Find it online, buy it off Amazon. Good
all right.
Cool.
Well, in
Have a
any
good
event,
Jimmy.
have a good night, y'all.
See you,
Have
Jim.
fun defending the
Good night.
castle. Ciao,
Good
ciao.
night, Felly.
Gute Nacht.
There you go.
I
Oh,
watched
look.
that
If it isn't the guy who's working the booth at BGG Con.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, what are
Putting
you
it in
guys
the
gonna
booth?
do? What are you guys gonna do with all your spare time?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, we'll
Man,
figure something out.
you sell one game to them and you're a slave for the rest of your life. Evan.
Exactly. See, now you know how it
Man.
works. Now you know how it works.
Evan Halbert.
How's it going?
How's it going?
Good. My wife has $1 million website idea, Scott. You'll be hearing from me.
Is it Aquarium?
Is it
Geek?
called Board Game Geek?
It's
I've got the trademark of that. Too late.
I saw that. Congratulations, man.
So
That's awesome.
But they don't have
Little things.
BoardGameGeek.com.
That's great. What's going on?
Oh, hi, Evan. How are you?
I'm good. I just took a little my band practice didn't happen. So I was like, I could show up early, or I could nap on the couch.
nap on the couch one.
Decisions.
Nap on the couch definitely was.
Mhm.
I thought of you yesterday, Evan. Axe Kraken popped up, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?" And I like it, and I was like, "Oh, it's Axe Kraken on my Spotify playlist forever."
That's awesome. I love it.
Ass cracking?
It's close.
What is
It's
it?
close.
Axe Kraken,
Oh, axe cracking. Not ass cracking.
No.
Axe Kraken. That's a very different
Axe
song.
That's a
It
different.
is.
That's a different
It
thing.
is. Axe Crack is the band name.
Oh, I added the in. Apparently, my bad. I had the in. Axe Crack.
What else is going on?
think I'm
I
allergic
don't
to
know.
walnuts.
Let's ask Evan. What's going on with you, buddy?
What's going on with me? I'm just struggling to keep up with like my 3 businesses and
Oh,
File your
And
estimated
that stuff.
taxes today?
what's that?
You file your estimated quarterlies today?
Nope, that's gonna
No.
come back and bite me.
hey,
I
Evan.
finally
It
got a
is today.
bookkeeper though.
Oh, yes, tomorrow's the day, actually.
Yeah, I finally got a bookkeeper. That's a step in the right
Oh,
direction.
that's good. Bookkeepers are good, yeah.
Yeah.
What's your availability if I wanted to make you
An offer I can't refuse
no,
anytime.
if I
man.
wanted to make you play a game to get feedback, what's your availability?
Availability is mostly
Stelly's around too, by the way.
Saturday or Sunday night at 8 p.m. PST or later.
Yeah, that doesn't work for me.
Figured.
Well, it's like
Why
you
I said it.
Yeah, I was
Right.
like, yeah, like, this is when I guarantee you I'd be
It's
available.
2
Okay,
to 2:15 a.m.
you'd be like, I'll take you up on it. Well, not today.
Uh,
Can you invite Barry and Castelli into the show? Assuming they want to come on. We need fresh blood.
what do you first blood?
So weird when you say it like that.
So I did
Yeah.
did
I
I
know, right?
tell you I did my sleep study?
Oh, how'd it
No,
go?
you
How'd it
said
go?
you
I don't have the
scheduled it.
results yet. I was a
Oh,
take
nice.
home. It was a take home test.
Is this for
So I got
apnea
to
or
over. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
I have
yeah.
like 7 of the 8 signs of
oh, that sounds
that
yeah.
stuff. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
What's
Yeah,
the
the test-
test? Like, what do you do?
so it was a device that I wore on my. It was like a little. It was like a giant iPhone or a giant Apple Watch with like a cord connected to my heart, like with a a little meter, and
Yeah.
then a
String on
finger,
that.
the blood thing.
one of those oxygen
pressure.
monitors. or
Oxygen
something.
Oh,
monitors,
Usher.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now that thing had an inflator in it, so it inflated when I pulled the tab and went, like it filled up and it like can't get it off. I can't get it off, like so it doesn't get pulled off automatically, in the middle of night.
Hmm,
So
that sounds creepy.
I don't know the results. Was not able to look at it. It was I brought the little lunchbox back to them and handed it to them, and they said, "We'll talk to you in," what did they say, 2 to 4 weeks? And I'm like,
Oh
what?
wow.
I could be dead by then.
They're a little
No, I
busy,
mean,
Scott.
I know it's just weird. Like, isn't it a computer and you put it on and you just push a button and you like get a result? I mean, isn't that sort
We'll
of?
talk to you when we're damn good and ready.
Yeah.
I just
I'm a
love
little-
that
I'm a
response.
little,
but I could
anxious
be
for it.
dead by then. I want to
Oh.
say that the next time someone's like, it'll be about a 20-minute wait for like dinner. Like,
But I've been doing telehealth,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which is phenomenal because then there's no waiting. They set you the time exactly. They show up like that minute.
Mhm.
Um,
is that the one where it's what's
it's
telehealth?
it's webcam.
This is
Oh, okay.
online, yeah.
Yeah, it's
That's
through
all you
their
need a lot of
system.
time.
Yeah, it's just I'm like, great, I don't have to go in.
Yeah, it's
I
pretty
got
sweet.
one of
I mean,
them
I've got a
today.
blood pressure cuff here, so I can give them my blood pressure numbers, right? Like that's
Mhm.
like the limits of what that they would have to do if I went in, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless there was some sort of procedures, but or
Right.
like physical.
You what I want to say?
You wanna say?
You made me think of grievances, and I
here we
really
go.
haven't shared any grievances. I want.
Oh, because I was mad about the
Yeah. I want to share this grievance.
oh for you, Dan.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Yeah.
I was
What's the
done.
grievance?
Publishing
Doesn't matter. Scotch
fucking
is
board
dying. Who
games.
I was
cares?
Shut up. Publishing fucking board games is tough.
Yeah.
It is
We're back on this.
really,
It's damn hard work, man.
it's really
It's goddamn hard work.
it's really fucking
Goddamn
tough.
hard work.
with
I know. I don't
very-
know why you guys keep putting out
with
some
very
games.
little with very
Make
little
one better
happiness.
game.
Yeah, make one better.
So
Oh, you
Just
make it
make
sound
one
so
good one.
simple.
Good
I'm
game.
I'm just giving you shit. Like,
Just
you
make
know,
one good one.
That's
just
all.
make less good
Stop
ones.
wasting your time
Make-
on that Empire.
Make less
shit.
games, make more good ones.
And it's just like, and I'm going to just take a step back and I'm gonna say, I get it. Having like people patiently waiting for the games that they kickstarted, long past overdue.
Mhm.
But like once those games get to a company's warehouse who we have contractually hired to handle the shipping of those items.
Did
And
the
at that point,
rail
like,
strike hit you?
signatures
Oh, no.
have been signed. Money has changed hands. It's like, and when that company, and I'm not throwing anybody under the bus, people get busy. It's tough to get people to come in and work. I mean, but like this, our most recent, the company that's distributing these things in the United States for us is just like, yeah, we can't hire. It's like, we've literally got, they were like, we literally have like around 44,000 orders to ship out, not just
Wow.
yours, like everybody else. And we can't get temp workers to come in because none of the temp agencies that we have contracts with have anybody to come and work.
Wow.
So he's like, so we're sitting on our skeleton crew of 4 people who's trying to get thousands upon thousands of orders out. And like, and they're like, yeah, we assumed we'd be able to do it this week. And then, but backers don't want to hear that. If I'm told
Mhm.
we'll start shipping this next week on Monday, cool. They'll start shipping those games out next week on Monday. Monday comes and goes. You're emailing what's going on. Finally on Friday, after a week has gone by, which of people not getting tracking codes, and then they're just blasting you in the comments,
Do
and you're just like,
do you think that you have to do crowdfunding now?
I think
Because that's
crowdfunding is
putting
the
it puts
because
a
going
crazy
to-
huge thing on you.
going through distribution and going and like just taking a gamble that like a game is going to sell through a print run of 4,000, 5,000 games and make you the money that you spent in print and just hoping. No, you got to go through crowdfunding.
So
It's
I
just-
guess you're gonna have to live with the pain.
No,
Yeah.
I get it. I get
Yeah.
it. But it's just like, I don't know how to explain to people. It's like, yeah, it's like, and that's the crazy thing too. It's like when you try to explain, if I could have every single one of you have your game in your hands, that would make everybody happy.
Of course.
The fulfillment company would be happy because they wouldn't
Nobody
have it
believes that,
anymore. But and I get it. People are upset. People are annoyed, and I'm certainly not saying they can't be. They can be annoyed and upset, and they but man, oh man, it is like one of those things where it's like, and every week I got to go back with bad news. It's like, yeah, sorry, don't know what to tell you.
Is the rail strike gonna affect you?
No, because all our stuff is already there.
You sure?
It's like, yeah. Well, I mean, maybe
It's affecting us because we just got a shipment in and it's not gonna be able to be delivered.
I don't
Really
know.
fucking sucks.
I
mean, assuming the strike happens, who knows? But I mean, they're basically already in anticipation of it happening. So they've already told us we're not getting it. Like, well, just send it. Like, why?
Right.
What's the holdup?
Yay, like C3PO before me.
I need another
we
thing.
were made to suffer.
It's your lot in life.
It's our lot in life.
Is Barry available to come on or no?
Barry
He
has
says,
the
"Oh,
code. He has
oh,
access.
Oh, you sent him the code? Oh, okay, cool.
No, he has access to the thing. I mean,
Oh, I
he
didn't know
doesn't-
that. Okay.
Yeah, but
He's
it's
in the
not
group.
under. It's under a comment from Scott. You mean
I post it normally. as
No, you
well.
posted it normally.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
I was just wondering if he's available.
Yeah,
I
well,
was gonna
that's
ask
up
if he's
to
going
him.
to Essen.
Well, I'm not. You can say hi to Shane and Josh. They'll be there.
Why are Shane and Josh going? Just for
Meetings.
partners?
Yeah, I mean, we have several people that like to publish our games. So,
Yeah.
Mm.
Like that garbage after the Empire thing.
That garbage.
Who would
It's the
want that?
worst.
Garbage.
I heard
The
the
worst.
solo expansion is coming out for that.
Yeah, man.
Yes, it is.
Maybe I'll finally play. I don't know. I don't like tower defense games. I don't.
Well,
I
then you
know
might-
it's not.
you
It's
might
not
hate
really a
Tech,
tower defense
but,
game. I mean, I guess it's kind of a tower defense,
I'll try.
but not like the standard tower defense.
Right.
Don't do me any
Not like what you
favors.
think.
Okay.
Whatever
I'm
you
trying,
do,
I
make sure you
just-
play it with somebody who hates that kind of game.
I
and
will.
and then spend several minutes in the video talking about how much you hate that type of game and why it's no fun.
Next week, I'm going to drive 10 hours to Forest. We're going to film it again, and I'm going to do the exact same thing.
I love it.
Oh, and my buddy Ronnie just did that again tonight. He just do a different game. He's like, I'm not the target market for this game. And I was like, that's a great piece of information to know.
Yeah.
I don't care what
maybe-
layer.
Maybe, you know, it's like, make sure when I send you a copy of Ragnarok's, play it with somebody who hates 2-player games that are.
Are you talking about the Dice Tower review?
Nah, don't even get me started.
Can you send me After the Empire instead of Ragnarok's? Because I've done a video on Ragnarok's and it was okay. I mean, I'm not a huge
When did the-
abstract strategy game. I like
When
it.
did the Dice Tower start giving out numbers? I don't remember them ever giving out,
Yeah, no.
ratings.
Do they all do it uniformly? Because I know there's like a whole boatload of different people creating.
Well, I
stuff.
mean, they give 1 to 10 ratings and with a 0.5. So, I mean, I guess it's like a 20-point rating. But I don't remember. I haven't watched it in a while, but was watching last week like a 7, 7, 7, 7, 8. Like that was the ratings.
I don't watch it.
The numbers are newish, so this could be.
I imagine this is
think-
what people wanted.
I think it's been at least several years.
I just don't remember them ever doing that before.
Yeah.
It was
People
always
like-
it was always like Dice Tower approved or Dice Tower.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think Z did it. I think Z
What was
was
it?
always big with numbers, if I recall
Oh.
correctly.
I
I don't
just
think
don't
Tom
remember.
did it so much.
I think they all do it now. It's like on all their shows.
Well,
I
think
like
they
the
have
numbers personally. It just gives a lot more. It's more concrete than like, yeah, it's good to very good or great.
Yeah.
I
People
guess
like
numbers can
great,
be
they give it a
interpreted
7.
weird.
people like having a
Yeah.
number. It's like, why do people like top
Yeah.
10 lists? They like having that number. They like having the, whatever, just it's like a thumbs up, thumbs down. It's just, there's no ambiguity. You don't have to actually watch the video to figure out what they want to say, just,
Yeah.
they can just say, what did they give it? They gave it an 8. Okay. Well, cool.
I like 8s. I'll buy that game.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, my biggest thing is that, I don't even think people, and I don't know this for sure, but I think most people, yes, if somebody gives a good review to a game that they never heard of, they might go, wow, that might be something I want to check out. Right.
Mhm.
They'll say that. The big thing about it, in my opinion, what happens more often is that I want to affirm the bias that I have for this game. But I hated this game. What did this guy have to say? Oh, well, they also agreed that it was horrible. That kind of thing. It was just, and it's like, so I was right. This game sucks. Just like, or if it's like, oh, this game's amazing. I love it. What did they have to say about it? And it's just like, oh, well, they also said it was great. See, I told you the game's great. He said it's great. I said it was great. I must be onto something. And that's just what people love reading reviews about stuff that they, they want to know that other people think the exact same way that they do. Why do people post their crap on Facebook when they want to say, this is what I think? And then they get annoyed when
that's
somebody
one
doesn't
reason
take
people
the time to say the same thing.
Yeah, that's one reason people use reviews, but there's also a whole group that use them they have their trusted group of reviewers where they're like, this person likes games like I like games, so I'm just going to see what they're into and maybe I'll stumble upon some cool stuff I wasn't even thinking about getting. Confirmation bias is also nice, because you want to be like, okay, yeah, I'm on the spot with that. So you're not wrong, but it's not the only reason people watch reviews,
No, it
Yeah,
isn't the
I
only
would agree
reason, but
with that.
I think that a lot of people have that attitude when it comes to the reviews and stuff that they're partaking in. I mean, there's definitely going to be people that are going to be like, I never even heard about this, and that's really
Right.
cool. I'm glad that I now know what this game is and what it's all about, and maybe I'll go pick it up. But I do think, like I said, there's a lot of people that are just like, Oh, well, I hate that. It's like why people, I mean, like, oh, I really don't like this movie, you know, and like I want to read a review about somebody else saying the movie sucks.
Yeah.
That'll make me feel good. I don't know.
Really? I don't do. I'm not like that. I guess.
I don't know. I think people love to hear, like, they love to hear that somebody else agrees with them.
Yeah.
It's, you know,
Oh,
sure.
yeah, it's human nature to an
It's
extent.
grounding, you know.
Yeah.
Am I on
Well,
crazy pills or
Yes, you are.
you know?
Well,
You know
why
what I
do you
mean?
think there's like entire websites that say, "Am I the asshole here?" You know, it's like
Right,
that's
yeah.
like
Usually they are.
where people post their little story about, you know, just like, here's my thing about like this is the situation I had, and you know, I guess in a way we do the exact same thing when we have our grievances. Hey, look at this!
Mhm.
Look at what
Yes,
this
you do.
piece of shit,
Yeah.
you know, did.
Yeah.
This- Can you
Am I
believe I
right?
went back
Am
to
I
that?
right to feel this way?
Yeah. Can you believe I went back to that same McDonald's that screwed me over 27 times and they screwed me over again?
Those
Who would have
bastards.
thought?
I would have.
You should have.
Since I don't.
One
do
might
it.
think you might say you should learn a lesson there.
Yes.
Nope.
Fool me
Mm-mm.
once, shame on me.
I can't believe it.
Nope.
I think you do it for the
Lance.
drama sometimes, Lance.
Lance, how long is your thing? Is it like a 3-hour game?
It depends on, I mean, like if you're, I mean, I can get it done quick. I mean, relatively quick. A half
I could
hour
do-
per player plus teach.
I could do a quickie on a Tuesday
Oh yeah. Yeah.
during the day.
Define
Oh.
quickie.
Well, I mean,
Go
board games. We're
on.
talking board games. Sky rockets in. Yeah, like you know, Tuesday for a couple hours. I could definitely.
Another Lex
Don't
Luthor.
don't do me any favors, but yeah,
I would do
Um,
you a favor.
I appreciate it.
I might even enjoy the experience. We'll find
Aw.
out.
What's
You have to
going
rate
on,
it, though.
man? I haven't talked to you in a while.
Oh, look at this, Mr. French guy.
Oh yeah,
Animal.
He's English.
Howdy,
Frank.
He
Frank
lives in France, though. He is from France.
But he's English. Yeah.
It's like you. You're English, but you're in America. You colonists.
Did you
Yes.
did you mourn the Queen?
Who's English?
Who?
The Queen.
Oh God.
I love how you said who.
That's a yes. That's a yes.
I know. I'm guessing.
Well,
I know your
that-
answer now.
That tourist monument. Yeah.
Yeah, how much do people really care in Europe? Like the
A
average
lot.
person.
The average person. Oh, in Britain, I think a lot.
I can only tell you from watching TV, and that's like all the news channels are like devoted to it. The French channels, the English
Oh.
channels. It's like I'm looking for some news on the war in Ukraine, and I
Mhm.
can't find shit because it's like, oh, and here's the car, there's the coffin. It's going down the road really, really slowly. There's people in the street there. It's like, for fuck's sake. Yeah.
So
it's the
here's so this was the conversation I heard on the radio,
Yeah.
like that on that day, like no, the day before, I guess it was Wednesday, and they were talking about the day before. It was that Thursday, and everybody was talking about she's ill, and people are saying that it's very likely that I mean, because of her age and like that, it was like, it's one of those things where it's like, it was understood that she would not be with us for very much longer unless things radically changed for them. And there was a conversation on American sports radio where three people discussed, they said, the first game of the season is tomorrow night. Kansas City, or I forget what the game is. Oh no, Buffalo and somebody else, yeah. and the Rams.
Sounds right.
Buffalo and the Rams. And they're like, that's gonna be the first game. They said, what do you think they're gonna do if she dies during the game? Do you think they'll cut away? And they discussed for 10 minutes about like, well, I don't know. I mean, what's more important, to the average football fan? It was like hotly debated whether they would like cut away to news. Maybe they would pause the game for a moment. Do you think they'll stop for a moment to have like a moment of silence? And yeah, it was
For the
it was
Queen?
hot. Yeah, for the Queen. It was
another
On the
hotly-
football
country?
game. Oh, did they?
It was well,
They
no,
probably-
'cause it
they
happened-
probably
it
put
happened
something on
before the
screen.
game.
But you have a queen in America.
Yeah, we haven't had one of them
Yeah,
ever.
Kylie Jenner.
I know you had the king of pop.
Oh no, it's
Yeah, we,
one of those Kardashians or is a queen.
Mhm.
who was the queen of pop?
Yeah. I mean,
Aretha Franklin.
at
The
the end of
queen
the
of
day,
pop?
it's someone that's been in the headlines for many years and been an important kind of figure. And yeah, it's sad that they've passed away. I'm a bit pissed that she didn't pass the throne on a long time ago to Charles, because
Madonna's
followed-
the queen of pop.
I
don't
followed
think.
Charles
Madonna.
because
Okay.
he was an environmentalist.
Oh,
So
Franklin was soul. Queen of soul.
Maybe he'll pass it on to what's the son's name?
Oh hell no! He's waited 70 years for this.
No, whatever. He's an old guy.
oh no, I can't even think of his name.
What's his name?
It's William and
William.
Yeah, it's William, not Harry.
Yeah. Oh yeah, William. and
Harry's
Harry.
not. Harry beat or gave up. What do you call
Gave
it?
it up, yeah.
Yeah, what do you call it?
Abdicate.
Abdicated.
Abdicated. Yeah.
It's like
Abstained.
Watergate. Yeah. But no,
Yeah, they're
yeah.
Netflix royalty now.
Yeah, there are people that love the Queen. I know my mum cried.
Mhm.
But there are people that are like the same as in America. It's like, oh my god, they're going to cancel the footy this weekend. It's like,
Oh no!
or the proms has been
The
cancelled. So,
horror.
yeah,
The
so
horror.
yeah.
I mean, it is. I mean, it's the only thing I found. I mean, I shouldn't say the only thing I found. The only thing I really found interesting about it was just the fact that, like, just the sheer amount of the world events that she was present for.
I know, 70
Mhm.
years, right?
Yeah, she did nothing.
Yeah, that she was queen over here.
I'll be right back.
I'm the Queen. Stop this war immediately.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Wow.
No, it
That'd be
was
all
it
right.
was it just to me it was interesting, right? I mean, it was like, I mean, I can remember I told this to my wife. I said I can remember, so back in the day, and this might be something where some of you like Kabuki Kid might follow on this. So People magazine had a kids magazine, and I remember it was called, I think it was called World.
Pimple. It was called Pimple.
No, it was called World Magazine, or maybe it was like a. Now I gotta Google it. I gotta Google what it was called. But I mean, I remember I got this kids magazine. That. No, that wasn't World. God, I remember it was a kids magazine that it was stories about like just the like stuff that happened, and it was like, but it was absolutely pointed in the direction of kids or whatever. And like my mom got it because like she had a subscription to People magazine or whatever. And but anyway, the whole thing was that I remember in that magazine, the one that I got as a kid, was that they had I must have been like 8, 9, 10 years old or something like that, and there was a big giant spread of the fact that like Prince Charles had his like coming of age coronation type thing, because like to be officially named the heir to the throne or something like that. And like it was one of those things where and they had all these pictures of the whole situation about the pictures of him and his regalia and all that stuff. And I remember just thinking, I remember as a kid reading that, and then they talked about how, he will become the king, when his mother passes away. And I was like, oh wow. And I was like, that's really interesting. That's really amazing, and I remember like thinking that was but I mean, I was like, like I said, I was like 10 years old, and here I am 50, and now he's finally, the king of England. I mean, I remember even reading that story. It actually they kind of talked about it like it was going to be like, it was going to be the like not imminent, but relatively soon. Like, it's like, like, but and here it was, like, whatever, I'm trying. God, I really want to know what that magazine was.
We're all waiting with bated breath for you to Google it, Lance.
No, I want to know. I want to know. I'm trying to figure it out, but I can't.
I'm waiting for the imminent end of this story.
It's the never-ending story, Bear.
Shut up.
I've just woken up and I feel like I'm falling back to sleep.
Everybody's.
Alaboom.
God, I'm so glad you joined us. I'm so glad you joined us this evening.
So Barry, what do you think the Essen attendance will be like? Scott was saying he thinks that it'll be heavier than last year. What do you think?
Well, they had restrictions last year. I think it will be normal this year, judging from Gen Con and stuff.
Okay.
But I've got no information whatsoever at the moment. Hopefully, I'll be getting some information soon about whether it's going to be masks or whatever.
They haven't announced that yet?
They have, but I haven't been following it.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I'm waiting for Bombay X to contact me and say, okay, right, this is the plan. We're going on this day. We need to do this. This is the protocol. We have this much square footage and these are the games we're demoing. So yeah. So silence. It's a minute respect for the Queen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
You going Essen, Bear?
Yeah.
Bombex?
Bombay X again, yeah.
Bombex? Bombex?
Yes. That's it. You got it.
Who owns Bombex?
Erwin Haskoth?
Oh, okay. I don't know if I know that person.
Probably.
It's not Arnaud. Arnaud does not own.
No.
He owns Matago.
He owns at Madigo, yeah.
Metago.
I like their games.
Yes, you're right.
Matago.
Metago.
Good. I like
That's
it.
a cat, right?
I haven't got a clue. I've recently just found out that Bombay X is a moth.
Really? Well, Matago has that cat, the black cat.
Yeah.
I thought it was a cat of some sort.
And Libelud is a butterfly.
Butterfly, yeah.
No, it's not. What's a Libelud? Oh, my French is going.
Scott, you're Vogan? You're blurry.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to get the focus to come
There
back.
it
There we go.
goes.
Blurry. He also doesn't show up on film. He's like a vampire.
So Lance is not going to Essen. Scott, any of the BGG?
Yeah, 7 people are going.
Yeah. Stand or no stand? Just documenting or?
Nope, just running around, talking to people, getting some games for BGG Con, that kind of stuff.
No.
Oh, hey, I got a list of stuff for you to pick up for me.
Never again.
Never again.
Give an inch, Lance takes a mile. Oh my god.
Oh, it wasn't that.
I could
much.
not believe how much you had my ass running around that fucking place.
But when you're just talking about, publishers making less games but better ones recently. Yeah.
Lance still wants games. Don't let him fool you. He'll find a game or two that he will.
No, I will. I will find a game that but I mean, like,
10.
literally. Well, like, so here's the deal. I have played more board games in the last. I mean, I'm not talking about like play testing board games here. I'm talking about I have played more board games in the last, probably couple weeks than I have in
2 years.
Like, no, I mean, in the longest time ever, because like my son has kind of discovered them, and he's got he's got 3 or 4 that he really likes to play, and so like he will just flat out ask me. He's like, "Hey, you want to like go play Shards of Infinity?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, get it out, let's play." And like
the Shards of Infinity.
Yeah, it's a pretty straightforward deck builder. I mean, it's
I know it,
and it's good. You know, I mean, it's not gonna win awards or anything like that, but I mean, I like it because you don't have to think about it. You know, you can just play. You don't have to like.
You don't have to think about it.
No, you just okay, yeah, I'll buy that card. You know, fine.
Yeah. My
That
son's the
card-
same. My son's the same. He wanted to play Living Planet yesterday. He's 5.
Really? That's got a lot of rules.
That's a lot of rules.
Well,
That's a ton of rules.
I still remember the day my daughter was like 4 or 5 years old, and like she had gone into my board game, like where I did all my filming, and then she just came out and she had the Ticket to Ride box, and she said, "Let's play the train game," and I was like, "All right," and so we just kind of made up our own rules, you know, like set the trains up in like the right directions on the little spots, and just, you know, like kind of like tried to find, like looked at the cards and tried to find the stuff, you know, just completely and totally made up our own rules. But she had a blast. And that's the best way to get me to play a game, having my kids ask, you know, because I'm not going to be that dad who's like, let's do something. No, get out of here. You know, just
Guilty.
yeah. I mean, my dad, like, yeah, I mean, if you asked him to do something, like, you know, I mean, he would do stuff if it was something that he already wanted to do, right? You know, it's just like, and I'm not here to trash on my dad. I think my dad did the best job he possibly could, and I don't believe in trashing your parents. And it's just like, until you walk a mile in their shoes and blah 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 blah. But I can remember like wanting my dad to do fun stuff all the time, and he was always just super busy. He had a million things he had going on, and he just did not have time. And I was just like, and I was like, and I get it. You know, I don't find any faults against him. Like I said, I think my dad did the best job he could, and he did a good job.
And those were the
like,
days before smartphones. So
yeah,
parents don't have an excuse nowadays. Apart from, I'm busy.
yeah. Oh, I just had to have
My dad has a smartphone now, but he still doesn't answer it. He doesn't text me back very often.
Probably doesn't know how to.
It's weird.
he
It's
knows.
weird. Like my
Yeah,
dad,
boy.
when my dad's on Facebook, like I'll see like he'll hit like on nearly anything I post, and then every once in a while he'll respond and he'll like type something out, you know, and it's just like it's very matter of fact, just very much. I can tell I can hear his voice saying whatever it is that he's saying, you know, just like, you know, I find it funny. But yeah, no, it's but yeah, so if my kids are like, hey, let's play this game, I'm like, yeah, let's do that. Like if my daughter's like, let's watch Star Trek tonight, okay, sure, get it going. Let's do that. You know,
Sold.
like, yeah, I mean, even if it's like Discovery, which I don't really like, you know, I'm like, yeah, fine, whatever, let's watch it. You know, I mean, I don't want to. I just there's you know, I mean, like, and this is not to be sad or anything like that, because I just, you know, whatever, kids get older and they get things, but I remember my son would always ask me to watch him play VR. He's like, can you watch me play VR? And I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll watch you, which is like ridiculous, right? I'm watching him, I can't see what he's doing.
Oh, you don't see the screen?
Well, no, I mean, this
you
is
don't have a
before
computer
on the
for it.
old, yeah, like, you know, so like,
Yeah.
you know, it was like you can download on the app now. You can use your Oculus app and you can watch what they're doing. So, but for the longest time, what I would do is I would just sit there and I'd watch him, and then like he'd play whatever game he was playing, and then every like 10-15 minutes he'd take his thing up and he'd look to see if I was still there, and he'd smile and laugh, and he'd put it down and he'd keep playing the game, and he'd tell me what was going on. And I remember, and like I always said, every single time he asks me to watch him play VR, I say, let's go, because there's going to come a time when he's just going to stop asking me to do it.
How old is he?
And he's 10, and now he gets out
3
his
more
VR
years.
and he gets out his VR and does it without me now.
Three
Like,
more years, I said. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he does it now with his Oculus Quest. He
He's
just
probably going, should I tell my
Isn't there-
dad there's
isn't there
lots
a
of
thing you
naked
can
women
click?
in here?
Click on that thing to see the real world. Like you can, well, not exactly the real world, but you can get an infrared view of the world.
yeah. I know what you're saying. That's
Yeah.
kind of cool. That's weird. That's the weird
It
thing.
is
That,
weird.
like, yeah, it is. It's like you're not seeing it, but you're seeing it.
You're
kind of
seeing
thing.
it, but you're
Yeah.
not seeing it. It's pretty neat. Yeah, I sort of cooled down on the Oculus. I gotta get glasses or contacts or something.
I'll be right back.
Mm.
too blurry for me. There's no diopter setting on these, so I can't focus it. And I can't really wear reading glasses on with it on. So
Aren't they supposed to fit glasses underneath? No.
it has a spacer, but I don't feel like tearing it apart to make us. I mean, the spacer, I don't know. They're just reading glasses, but I don't know if it'll work because you have
Yeah.
to sort of. But reading glasses, you sort of have to be. It's for reading, like in my
Right.
computer. Like
Yeah.
if it's more than a foot away or 2 feet away, I can't see it. It's blurry.
Mm.
Anyway,
Hmm.
different problem. But my old Oculus had a diopter. I don't know why they took it away. It sucks.
Is that this thing where you go boop 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 and it like
Yeah, something. Like I don't know what it does, but I could focus it. This one only has eye spacing.
yeah.
So if you move it too far or you start seeing weird stuff on the sides. So
Right.
I think it's because of the price. It's only like I think it was $300 total. So it has less features.
Right.
Right.
It's not like the original Oculus, which was way more expensive.
Right. Fancy.
I've been putting myself off the Oculus for a while, saying, "Oh, I know, I'm gonna wait until the PS5 comes out, and then get one and start playing
Wait.
Resident Evil in 3D and stuff." And then,
Wasn't there a PS? Oh, it's not for the PS5. It's for the PS4, right?
oh yeah.
Or does it work for the PS5?
I can't recall. I've given up looking at it now because my eyesight is just going to pot over the past couple of years. It's like, so I'm like, why bother trying to hurt my eyes more by buying a 3D thing?
Yeah.
Which is a shame because I would have loved to have played that and Skyrim and No Man's Sky all on 3D, but these poor old buggers are getting old.
Oh, interesting.
You don't wear contacts?
I'm thinking about it because
Yeah.
the glasses I have, they're bifocal.
Yeah.
But it's just such a nightmare to read a book at night. You got to focus on a little
Exactly right.
fucking point just to see the words clearly, and it's like
Getting old sucks, right?
it does.
Get your eyes zapped, man.
No, I've vowed never to let doctors do anything to my body anymore.
No Groupon.
No Groupon for eye laser.
Good throwback.
Groupon for the win.
I have zero complaints about my LASIK. My Groupon purchased LASIK.
I know. I'm just messing with you.
I know.
That was a good
Groupon
story,
dentist
though.
you gotta watch
Got a
out.
Groupon for LASIK.
And the place doesn't even exist anymore.
They went out of business.
Oh yeah, they went out of business.
Yeah,
Because
Groupon,
of
man.
pandemic.
I have no idea. I mean, the thing was, it was like I remember when I found out they went out of business, the place I went to, like my eye doctor, and they're like, I was like, they went out of business. He's like, they didn't go out of business. He said because they were bad. He said they went out of business because they had a bad business model, probably because they were selling it for
Too much Groupon.
Yeah,
Groupons.
man. Hey, Groupon put a lot of businesses out.
But the kicker was they sold me on. I paid them an extra like $300 or $400, so I could
See,
like get permanent corrections. Like basically come back in, and they would like if it changed at any time for the rest of my life, they come in and they do
so you're screwed.
alterations. Yeah, so I mean, I can go
By
someplace
the
else and
extra
they can do that.
premium plan.
But I went for the undercoat, and then
have you watched
they-
that movie? I can't remember. I think it's called Download,
Yes, serious.
where the guy gets downloaded into the VR world. His wife.
dead.
It's called Tron.
No, he dies,
Yeah,
and he gets downloaded in there because
that's the afterlife. It's
that's the afterlife.
Yeah,
He's
that's
still
what they do. Is,
alive, but
yeah,
not
so you
really.
can still talk to your dead people
Yeah,
because
your
their
family.
souls are captured in VR.
But it's funny how they monetize everything.
Yeah,
Like you have to pay for a view of your room
Yeah.
for your room, like, or I want to go fishing. You got to pay for that. So you got to have to,
Sounds about
I
right.
thought it was pretty clever.
Mm.
I have not watched the second season. I mean, it's sort of murder mystery because he died oddly.
Was he solving his own murder from VR after?
Kinda.
because they have like a self-help, someone they can contact in the real world, like an operator, and she kind of falls in love with him, and
That's
so
right.
that
It's pretty
that-
good if you're looking.
Yeah,
It
me and
sounds
Jen were
cool.
watching that.
The first
You're really
season's
looking
good.
The first is the second season not good?
I haven't seen it. My wife's been watching it, and I've caught snippets, and I'm like totally thrown because it looks like a completely different series.
They probably, I could tell that they would eventually run out of sort of the VR world jokes, right?
Yeah,
like I mean, it's really cool to begin with, but then it's that starts fading away, and because I don't know, there's all kinds of weird like, what would an afterlife of VR be like?
Right. Yeah, that kind of sounds
there's
like
a lot of good jokes there, but they don't, you know, it doesn't.
Right? Is it
not like
comedic?
it has a one act, you know, like that kind of.
Right. One trick pony. Is it comedic?
But it's
or not?
but it's clever. What?
Is it comedic?
Yeah.
It's comedic, dramatic, and
Okay.
Yeah, it was a good show. I thought it was fun.
I'll say
this.
I watched all 12 episodes in one sitting. So
yeah.
Did you guys watch those Philip K. Dick shorts?
I saw some of them.
Never watched them.
The best ever movie I ever saw about the afterlife was Defending Your Life, Albert Brooks.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That is, if you haven't watched that, that is Rip Torn as his lawyer.
Oh, yeah.
That is a good one. Where you could eat unlimited amounts of food.
You could eat whatever
I always
you
thought that
wanted.
was fabulous.
Right.
Yeah, they just
And they're like eating like gigantic
More,
plates
please.
of food.
And the whole idea is that the universe is just a big machine, and that Earth is just the first stage, and you have to prove that you are a worthy addition to the machine before you can move on to the next level. And that was just and then so basically Albert Brooks had to defend his life.
It sounds familiar.
He was and just like, and then it was good. The whole thing was it was like, live a life without fear and whatever. And then what was it? Who's the woman? Who was the woman?
That was
I can picture her.
Sophie's Choice. What's her name?
Oh man.
Meryl Streep.
Meryl Streep. There you go. Yeah.
I want to say Bette Midler, but I knew that was wrong.
Yeah, Meryl Streep.
It's a good movie.
Spending Your
yeah.
Life. Spending Your Life is well worth the time.
Where they pick
to
5
watch.
scenes of your life or something like that.
Yeah,
And then his scenes were like the worst.
Yeah, they like where he just made all these horrible choices and
because he was a feared man. He was afraid.
yes, because he was a very neurotic and
And of course her life is glamorous and they're like,
yeah. And they're
we
just
played
like,
the video.
and they're always being, they're like, yeah, because like she had to like, well, how many days do you have to defend? Like they like, and then three. And then they're like, how many days do you have to defend? 9. And then the guy at the sushi bar, 9. He's just like, and then he walks in and he sees that one guy at the same place. He's like just the guy who's just like slovenly and like a crass and a total jerk to everybody. And they're like, oh geez, how many days you gotta defend? 7. They're like 7. He's just like,
Yeah, who wrote that? Was it?
I don't know. I think it was written by Albert Brooks. I don't know.
Brooks?
I had to look, but it
Probably
was
not.
yeah. Like, and she's
That's a
talking
good one. I
about
want to almost watch
like,
that.
because his hotel in the afterlife he gets to stay
yeah.
at is just a like
Very
a Motel
standard,
6.
like about Motel 6.
And hers is this
luxury.
extravagant luxury, mints on the pillow.
Yeah. And there's all kinds of jokes that they write themselves there.
Oh yeah, and he's just like, why don't I get this? Why don't I get that? And then like then there's the day that Rip Torn can't make it as his lawyer, so he has some guy stand in for him, and the guy like the guy doesn't say or do anything. They're like, all right, let's go ahead and take September 17th, 1984, where like he shows that he's just like he doesn't do the bold decision, and like he screws up and doesn't invest in the company or whatever.
Oh yeah,
he misses out on millions of dollars, and they're like, you want to explain why you did this? And he's like, wow, he's trying to explain why he would do it, and then the lawyer's like, did you want to say anything? He's like, no, I'm good. And like everybody talks about how his lawyer was like, oh yeah, you had Alex Fields step in for you, and he's like, yeah, oh, he's amazing. Is he? Just like losing his mind the entire time. Yeah. No, I want to go back and watch that. That
I know it was good. I don't even think I really watched it. I think I watched it once.
Yeah, it was good
Might be
stuff.
worth watching again.
Yeah, that was like one of those weird movies that when I was working at a video store, I was like, oh, this looks cool. And I brought it home. Kind of like when I brought home Miracle Mile. I was like, I'm going to watch Miracle Mile because somebody said that was me. Did everybody ever see that?
I don't think so.
So Miracle Mile, and I'm not going to, it's well worth finding. I'm not going to give away anything other than the premise. So the premise is that this guy, like basically he, I forget what it is. I think there's a phone booth and the phone is ringing, and he picks it up to answer it, and on the other end, he hears this guy who's like calling. He's like, "Dad, are you there?" or something like that. And he's like, "Who are you trying to reach?" He's like, "Oh, this is so and so from Grand Forks, North Dakota. I'm trying to. Is this not my dad?" And he's like, "I think you got the wrong number." And like, and he says something like, it's like the birds are in the air, it's like we only have 6 hours, and he's just like, and then you hear some other voices like, who are you talking to? What do you get off that phone? And like, and he ends up having to be off the phone, and he like says some like weird secret code. And so then he mentions it to somebody, and like they're like, that's exactly what they said. And they're like, yeah. And they're like, that means nuclear missiles are coming. They're like, basically World War III has started. And like that's going to happen, and so like it's, and he somehow finds out that if he can get to this one place, like where this bomb shelter is, like if they leave right now, they can get there and they can be saved. But he's in love with this girl, and he's got to go and get her, and it's a mile to her house. And he's got to get her and bring her back. And they're like, we'll wait for you here, but we're only waiting till this because that's how much time we have to get there. And so it's a weird combination of like how does he go through the process, and does he even believe that it really is like what he heard on the phone and everything like that? Denise Crosby, Tasha Yar is in it.
Miracle Mile.
Miracle Mile is
okay.
And if you can track it down, I might, Kabuki Kid might tell me if I got the wrong name, but no, she said never saw
1988 Miracle Mile.
1988.
That's a very 80s cover.
Yeah.
Yep, that is that. I'm looking at the pictures from it. Miracle Mile, yeah, and
On Amazon, but not free.
Not free.
Not.
It's not worth $2.99.
$3.99.
$3.99. Not worth $3.99.
A very young
through the back of the theater.
A very young Anthony Edwards is the lead role, who you might remember was on ER, and he played
Revenge of the Nerds, right?
Yeah, Revenge of the Nerds, and he was Maverick's
Goose.
Yeah, he played Goose. Yeah. Yeah, very young Anthony Edwards.
That's not the actress from Short Circuit, is it?
Mare Winningham, no.
No, that was from Mare. What is she from?
It says here she starred in St. Elmo's Fire, Turner and Hooch, The War, Dandelion, Swingvote Brothers, Mildred Pierce, Hatfields and McCoys, appeared in American Horror Story for 4 seasons. So it looks like she was in a lot of stuff. But yeah, no, if you can track it down, check it out.
Check it
out. I hate the internet tracking me down.
This movie looks awesome.
Why are they tracking you down now, Barry?
Well, I've gone onto our Internet Movie Database, and there's an advert right at the top, and it's Uno cards. 100% cards, action. And we played Uno last night. I want to know how the fuck it knows.
Oh, they know.
It knows. It watches you.
That was Ellie Sheedy.
I got a ad for something. What was that?
Screen share. I'll just do that.
I can't remember now.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah. 100%.
Freaky fuck.
Yeah, I got a freaky ad the other day. Can't remember what it was though. I'm tired of trying to protect myself, but cannot.
No, we're doomed.
Dude. Skynet is coming.
I watched Time Bandits the other day.
Oh
Time
yeah.
Bandit.
I want a remake.
Yeah, it needs a remake.
Oh,
like they
yeah,
didn't
you
finish it.
can't remake that though.
They didn't really finish that movie, did they?
Oh yeah, they did.
The ending is weird.
It ended is very
I
weird.
like
Mom,
It ended.
Dad, don't touch it. It's evil.
It's concentrated evil.
The guy
Yeah.
who played the villain died.
Oh, who
Yeah,
was that?
Who? Sorry,
The guy who played the villain.
David Warner.
David Warner. Yeah, he died a while ago.
Yeah, relatively recently, but yeah.
I loved that movie.
Time Bandits. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
it was Sean
It was-
Connery.
it was
played the-
horrible, amazing,
Horrible amazing.
amazingly horrible. It was awesome. I loved it.
David
Um,
Warner. He was the NPC in Tron.
Yes,
Yeah.
he
Was he?
was.
The controller.
I never really got into
Master
that.
Star
Program.
Trek. Was it the Voyage Home? He was the Klingon.
Was he
Oh,
the?
Voyage
And
Home.
he was also
Oh,
he was
yeah.
also the Cardassian. There are 4 lights.
Oh, that guy. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't like that episode. Everybody loves that episode, but I'm like, yeah,
No, there's something wrong with you if you don't like it. That's
could be.
could be. That is
I like
no
the-
could be.
I like the
You are.
flute episode, but
Oh
Every-
my gosh! You know,
everybody
I
likes that
think the
flute
flute
episode.
episode is one of my absolute favorites.
it is.
that-
of course.
It brings a tear to my eye when I watch it. It's like it's one of those things where it's
What's the name
like
of it?
oh, I forget what it is, but I mean
Something.
yeah, but I mean, and
Um,
if you know what the flute episode is, I mean, just what a screw job. Those
Inner
al-
light.
what?
in the inner light.
Yes, the inner light. What a screw job that planet did. I mean, how would you ever like recover from that? I mean, like you live an entire lifetime in like 20 minutes or whatever. And
Well, to
and,
you, it's a
like,
lifetime. To them, everybody else, it's like 5 minutes.
yeah, like yeah. How long was I
How
out?
long was he out? 20 minutes. He was like 10 minutes, 5 minutes.
10 minutes, like 12 minutes or something like that. He was just like he was out. But no, you live an entire lifetime from like age, whatever, 30 to 80, and just like and it just and like and
then you're back to your old life.
yes. Oh, now yeah, go ahead. Now
Because
you
didn't he
gotta-
eventually give up, like trying to find the Enterprise?
Yeah, no,
Like
so
he sort of just basically gave up.
he gave up and he
in
was
his
just
life, in
like,
that
yeah, I
second.
must have that was my dream
I
world.
must
or
have
whatever.
dreamed it. Yeah.
Yeah, and then yeah, I mean, like he has to go through the loss of his wife. He has to go through. I mean, like the loss
Yeah.
of his best friend. Dies in that
Daughter, grandkids.
Well, yeah, and then he's got to deal with the fact that like he lives on this doomed planet, and
Yeah, it's a pretty cool story.
it's a great story. But I mean, but they're like, oh yeah, we sent this probe out there because we wanted people to know our story. We wanted to give you PTSD for the rest of your life.
Right.
Over
It
this.
happens.
Well, he got to learn how to play the flute.
True.
And
he
how
did get-
sad, but how
did
sad
get
is
the
that
flute.
moment though? How
Yeah,
sad is
no,
that
it's a
moment?
great episode. It's one of
It's
the
like
best.
he just everything's quiet, and it's just you can hear the hum of the ship, and they're like yeah, we brought the probe in and we found a hatch, and this was the only thing that was in it, and like Riker just hands him the box that has the flute in it, the flute that he like had in the dream world or whatever, and he just takes it, and then he plays like one single note on it,
One dissonant note.
and then it just
Right, because he also, yeah, it's a weird episode.
yeah, and it's just like, and they
Is the modern Riker? I've not the modern Riker. The modern.
It's a good way to change a character arc. They
Yeah,
all of a
for
sudden,
sure.
in middle of a season they have this whole other life, and then they've got that baggage, and it changes their character's
Mhm.
outlook on
Did
the
it
world.
change his character? I know there was a couple callbacks to it.
Well, like there's a couple things where you see him playing the flute, like you'll
Yeah.
you'll see him like he'll have it out and he will be, but yeah, no, that's like that is one of my all-time favorites of the Next Generation.
Is there anything to it in the new Picard show?
I haven't seen anything, but the Picard season 3 is coming, so
Just
the
call back to it at all.
That's supposed
The
to
one
be
that I
the whole
remember
crew.
is I can't remember the name of it though. The whole
Farscape.
no,
Please.
the Next
Please.
Generation episode.
Escape.
Where they have the aliens speak in metaphor, and they can't
Darmak.
understand
Darmak at
Darmak at Kalad, you know, and
Yeah,
like
yeah. What was the name
yeah,
of that
and
one?
just and the thing is what's so good about that episode is that they do it so well of like people not being able to understand. Like I
Darmak.
remember being
The name of the episode was Darmak.
yeah, I remember being personally like frustrated over the
Yes.
fact that like because you can't tell what they're saying and like you know and it's just like and like oh the universal translators aren't working. Yeah, their entire speech and like and so everybody remembers Star Trek 2, Wrath of Khan, right?
Never
So
heard of it.
yeah. So Chekhov and the captain of the Reliant, the captain of the Reliant, that African American actor, he played the captain of that ship in Darmok. He was that role. But yeah.
Allegories. That's what they spoke in.
Yeah. But I mean, and then but that how good was that too at the end? Like they're sitting there and they're arguing, and then the one guy says, and the one person I don't know what it was, but what Picard said, but one person says in some allegory something all brazen and tough, and then Picard just stands up and he's like Darmak Anchalad, you know, like just says it, and the guy's like, oh,
Well, yeah, because he was negotiating for them, right?
Yeah, and he looks around
Something
and
weird
like
that.
such. I mean, Next Generation really didn't hit its stride until third season.
Season
but
3.
man,
Yeah.
there are some freaking, as the words go, banger episodes.
I like the time loop one where the
where they keep blowing up.
they keep blowing
They
up.
keep blowing up over and over again, and then they
That's so good.
find the actual like they're sending the message back to themselves. Data figures that out and starts sending it back. Oh yeah, that's a good episode too. Look at this. It's like I've said this before, but Aldi and I were like we're almost the same age, and like every good night
Everyone.
like everything that we like is almost like
CFO back.
dead ringer. Like around, we watched the same
Barry.
movies. Somewhere they're like they planted us in the ground, or they planted us on the earth, and like they're like, and you're all gonna like the same shit and watch the same shit. The same thing.
It was hard not to like that stuff, though. I mean, we were fanatics about it at college. Sunday night, man, 7:00.
Oh, what do you think about the new Quantum Leap? Like
I was never
seen the ads.
Is there a new one?
I liked the show, but I didn't love it.
Yeah, there's gonna be a new one. I don't really know much about it.
I saw the trailer. It was okay. The trailer looks so good.
It's tough for me to get behind anything that doesn't have Scott Bakula in it, but I mean, I'll give it a shot.
I can get beyond that.
Is he not in the show?
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure they'll
the
let
other
him come
guy
back.
isn't either. He died, right? The guy
he
who
died.
played
Oh yeah,
Al.
Al.
Al,
Ziggy
yeah.
says there's a 71.4% chance
Yeah.
you're here to.
Maybe Ziggy will be in it. There was never a Ziggy, right? Like they never showed Ziggy.
I think
They
Ziggy
did.
was a computer,
Oh,
right?
they did?
They did. Well, the computer Ziggy, but they actually
Yeah.
showed but they named it after the one guy because then there was like this weird, and he was like some nerdy looking guy, if I'm remembering correctly.
I can't remember.
I love the old Quantum Leap.
Yeah, I did too.
You remember Measure of a Man? That episode.
Mhm.
Barkley
Barkley.
episode
Yes.
where he becomes the supercomputer,
Yeah.
or he becomes smarter than everyone in the world. Like he's like you, or what is Data said to me? Like, you might be the smartest human to ever have lived. His IQ was 2,000 or something like that.
Yeah, I was just
And then he hijacks the Enterprise and travels to another galaxy.
Yeah, Barkley was a complete throwaway character they had just for that one holodeck episode, and then people just really liked
he
him.
recurred a little bit.
Yeah, and then he played a big role in Voyager too.
Yeah.
Charles Barkley.
Yes, Charles Barkley himself.
So
name.
here's the interesting thing, and and this is not me thinking this. This is me watching videos about talking about Star Trek and stuff like that. But how crazy it is! Okay, you have a holodeck, and
You have
the
a holodeck.
holodeck is able to
The death trap.
create, like is able to create anything for you, right? It's able to create, like, oh, you want to go whitewater rafting? You can go whitewater rafting. If you want to go and fight orcs, you can make a thing where you go and you fight orcs. You know, like if you want
You
to,
can
like,
you can
yeah.
create Moriarty.
yeah. Well, those Moriarty episodes are excellent, but so
The
okay,
Big Goodbye was a good one.
Yeah.
That was
yes,
the
yes,
one.
yes. So here you have this thing, right, that makes this stuff for you or whatever. So what I thought was like, so you have the holodict, like the addict or the holodict, you know, like the Barkley is just in love with going into, and so the big reveal in that episode is that like he's supposed to be at work, he's not at work. They find out he's in the holodeck. They go to the holodeck, and he is doing these protracted long fantasies of like him basically either beating the crap out of Riker and basically it's like
That was like the
alluded to the
Troy was
fact.
in there too, right?
Yeah, it's alluded to the fact that there's a romantic thing. The holodeck Deanna Troy is like romantically involved with Barkley. Like he's able to program it to basically say, okay, I can make out and kiss and presumably other things with Deanna Troy. So they show up to this thing and they see him doing this, and everybody knows what he's doing, but nobody's like, and admittedly it's a different time or whatever, but nobody seems pissed. They're like, okay, yeah, fine, you put me in here and you beat the hell out of me. Nobody's like, whatever, you know, like it's just fine. It's just fine
Wasn't
that
there
you
some admonition of it. I thought there was something.
no, but they're not really all that mad that he's in the holodeck, like using standees for the people in there. They're
like-
more upset for the fact that you didn't show up for work on time. That's what they're upset about. They're like, you're supposed to be in engineering, working on, you know, doing the level 2 diagnostic of the warp core, you know, just
Well,
like, and you're in here pretending to have sex with Deanna Troy. What? Just get to work.
I think at some point, you know, if you've had access to that type of technology, you know, it's kind of like when you know, if you're super restricted from access to alcohol, you're more likely to overdo it when you finally get access.
Yeah, I can see.
Like if you've had access to a thing like the holodeck for a long time, yeah, you probably messed around and had sex with you know, like a fantasy scenario once or twice, and then, you know, you're like, all right, cool.
Well, so here's the thing.
And this guy just kind of got mired in that, you know, like drug use.
So in Deep Space Nine, they go all in with the holodeck. They just basically say that there's basically like
Yeah, it was
rampant porno stuff. Like the ones that they run on there, and then Quark has, right? And he's like, really? He's doing you know, like, you know, Vulcan Vixens level 4. He's been in there for 6 hours, you know, like that's one of the lines that, like, there is an episode of Next Generation, and it's like almost a throwaway and people forget about it, but Riker, like, I forget what it is, but basically it's a pretty good episode where like this guy says there's a diplomat, he's like, oh, we're and I forget the actress, I can't remember, but like she's a very good looking woman, and they say, oh, you know, there's like this like nobody can touch, everybody has to stay out of this this hard cargo bay until you take me from this place to this place, because I have to deliver this special gift to like whatever to fulfill this thing. And it's actually a really good Picard episode. And then these two Ferengi are on board, and they think, well, it must be whatever's there must be worth millions of credits, and so they go there and they open it up, and it's a woman. And so like basically they have this woman, she's been basically bred to be the perfect companion.
right. I remember
You know, and then like Picard and her fall in love, and then he has to but he still has to deliver her or whatever. But when so like she's just exudes sexuality, and Riker is like talking to her, and like he's like, he puts Riker in charge of, you need to make sure that nobody messes with her and that she's safe and everything, because we need to get her to the thing. And like they go through this whole thing of like, it's very, very innuendo laden, and they're talking about
That
like
was
being
Famke
close.
Janssen.
And then and then Famke Janssen, and then he escorts her to her room, and she's like, I'm not gonna be able to sleep for hours if you want to come in. And he's just like, and he says, I have my duties, I can't, and she's like, it's like, I wonder, it's like, I was really like interested in what could have happened between the two of us. And the door closes, and then Riker hits this thing, and he says, it's like, this is Commander Riker. If anybody needs me, I'll be in holodeck 4. Just like...
Yeah.
That's so.
Yep. Got to go cool off. Cold shower.
Oh, there was no cold shower, I'm sure. But no, that was a good episode too, because that's the big thing. They deliver her to the diplomat, and so like the reason why the one diplomat the diplomat delivers her to like the adjutant governor or whatever, person that like she's been designated to be like the mate for.
Yeah, to
and
stop
like,
a
and
war.
basically, yeah, to stop a war. And like, and the diplomat is this like 180-year-old man. He's like, and they're like, that's the reason why at 180 I still feel the urge, when she's around me, even at my age, And so like when they bring him back, like he says something, I think it's fairly cryptic, and he's like, it's like, Captain Picard, I have to know, it's like, you were with her, for days. How were you able to, resist her overall, after spending all that time with her? And he said, and he just basically, he looks at him and goes, have a safe trip home. So he doesn't even answer the question. And I just, man, that show was so good. And
it was good.
It was good.
Some of the best sci-fi TV.
I mean, they had some garbage episodes.
I mean, I did not watch any of it.
Sure.
I mean, I watched like first season of Deep Space Nine.
Space Nine?
It just didn't have the hold for me.
So
Same.
Deep Space Nine suffered the same
It got
problem
better,
as,
yeah.
as Star Trek. You gotta get past that first season.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
you have to,
know there's lots of, everybody freaking loves tons of that stuff, but I just
you have to grit your teeth and just say, I'm in this for the long haul. I mean, that's
Yeah.
the only way you can get through.
Yeah.
That, I mean, the first season, and it's just like, and there's a lot of episodes that are like very, I mean, anything with Garrick is just like, it's gold. It's just freaking gold. Like Garrick is the Cardassian spy that lives on the ship. And so like there's all these episodes with him, and anything Cardassian related is really, really interesting. And Kira and like just them dealing with what they, what's good, bad, or otherwise, as far as like it loses focus a little towards the end as well, when like lots of other crazy stuff happens.
Yeah, don't they go like undercover in some kind of like
all the time? I mean, it's
like
the
they had,
thing
like,
of,
a separate ship, and it wasn't even on the starbase.
well, that's the one cool thing is that they, eventually they realized they needed a ship, and I can't remember the name of the ship, but the cool thing about the ship was that it was like, because it had warp
cloaking, right?
It had cloaking, and so, but obviously, because the rule is you can't cloak and
Warp.
can't cloak and warp. That's the one thing, right? So
Shoot either.
well, or shoot, or any of those
Except
things.
until Star Trek 6, I think.
Well, that was the prototype, and the only prototype was blown up, right? So, but
Theoretically.
no, so the cool thing about that one was that that ship, they made it with like the armor and plating so thick that it could fight and like without having to have shields. And that was like the big thing about that one, was that they made it to just basically like be able to fight without it. And so, and I remember it. No, I mean, Don't even get, I mean, obviously we start talking about Next Generation, but
All right.
I could talk about Next Generation for days and days and days. I could talk about Star Trek for days and days and days. Here's the crazy thing.
I used to think Star Wars was better than Star Trek, but I'm not so sure anymore.
Well, here
Really?
that's what I was just gonna say.
I don't want to start talking about.
So here's what I was gonna say about that. Here's what I'm gonna say about it. The problem is that Star Wars was ahead of Star Trek because Star Trek had shit movies, right? I mean, like Star Trek 5 is complete and total garbage. Star Trek 3 has moments, but I mean, like Star Trek Nemesis, that's not a great movie. You know what I mean? There's Star Trek movies that are garbage, and Star Wars, like, as much as people bagged on the prequels, like, people still were like, hey, they're kids movies, and they were still considered to be solid. People would not great, but solid. They and because they had enough cool stuff going on, and so that was the big thing. Star Trek sucks, right? Well, now Star Wars is just coming out with stuff that is like, I mean, we're not going to get targeted about 7, 8, 9, but I mean, like, a lot of people just basically say that those movies weren't very good at all. And and there's a lot of like the Star Wars series stuff that people are like, oh, well, that's not good, or this isn't good. I mean, as much as I really liked Obi-Wan, there was a lot of stuff about Obi-Wan that wasn't good. I mean, it was cool. I mean, yeah, I mean, exactly, right? So Star Wars was like this weird pinnacle where it was just like, oh my gosh, like 4, 5, and 6 are amazing, right? They're just like
Were they?
and then 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, and 6 were like, okay.
I like 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah, but then like, so now with everything else, and it's become just another show. It's like everybody's like, oh, did you see the new Andor? I was like, yeah, that's cool. Whatever. I'll watch it. But I'm also like, it's just another show. It's just another show now. It isn't. There's nothing special about it anymore. And that's just the way it is, and it's just gonna have to be that way.
The way it is.
But Star Trek is just Strange New Worlds is so good, and it's just like Next Generation was amazing. Deep Space Nine was great. Voyager not so much. Enterprise, but Discovery, it's been kind of up and down. But without Discovery, we would not have had Strange New Worlds, and Strange New Worlds is freaking amazing. And I really like their Lower Decks. I like that show. I think it's funny. And I like the fact that it's like very fan servicey and yeah. So I mean, yeah, I'm more of a Star Trek guy now than I was Star Wars. I mean, I rewatched Wrath of Khan just the other day, just because I was like, I'm gonna watch Wrath of Khan just because it's so good, just like, you get to watch two great actors just chew the scenery for, just like, there she is, and not as damaged as we were led to believe.
I have been watching House of the Dragon and then The Rings of Power.
So
I have not gotten to Rings of Power yet.
I'm curious everybody's opinions on those shows, just for my own confirmation bias.
I'm into them.
Are you?
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah, I like both of them.
Like, there's a stark contrast in like
Tone?
acting and directing style in The Rings of Power, because I watched that second after the House of the Dragon. It's kind of more like old school, made for TV, hokey fantasy style.
What, the Lords of the Rings?
Yeah, I thought. Maybe it was just the contrast after having watched the House of the Dragon, that style, and then you watch this style. It's just it was a jarring. It was a jarring difference.
I have opinions.
We know.
Did you say you haven't seen it yet?
So
I like them both.
Here's the weird thing, right? So I'm glad Forrest is here, because I can always count on Forrest to carry the ball on some of this stuff. So my social media feed seems to
I'm gonna hit it
for,
though.
for the last week.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Talk to you guys later. Have a good
Take
one.
care,
Scotty.
Get some rest. So my Facebook feed has been filled with a great deal number of people that want to say, oh, all these people that say She-Hulk sucks are stupid because She-Hulk's a great show. Or I think that people that have a problem with this, that, and the other thing, and Rings of Power is like, and I'm just like, and everybody's like, feels like there is a like this is horrible that people are coming out and talking about like people of color being in these roles and in Lord of the Rings, and it's horrible that these things are, and I'm not saying people aren't saying that, but I'm not seeing any of that. I'm not seeing anybody stepping up and saying, these things are saying, and like, it's one of those things where I want to say to them, who's saying this? Where are you? It's
Everybody.
like, I feel like people, but where?
Everywhere.
But I mean, do I just not go and look for like the stuff where people are going to complain, so I just don't see it? And
It's probably a little bubble thing.
Yeah. To be honest with you, I didn't even pay attention to people of color. Like, to me, it was just like, all right, it's another person. I didn't, the character and the color never linked. It's just that character happens to be this color. I guess there's just certain people who see things like that, But I do. Me and Jen were watching A League of Their Own, and I'm in and out on most of the stuff because I don't sit still most of the time. But Jen turned it off and she's like, I'm sick of all the LGBT stuff on this particular show. It's like they're beating me over the head with it. The lesbian love scenes and all that.
In A League of Their Own?
Yeah. And I'm like, okay. So I can see how some people can complain about that, and with the internet, it's going to be the vocal minority. Yeah.
Yeah, it must just be my Facebook feeds. I don't see much of that.
I see all of it. It's all my Facebook feed. Everybody hates it.
Huh.
I'm kidding. I haven't seen anything either.
Oh,
I
okay.
feel the same way. I think people are just moaning to moan.
Yeah.
I'm sure there is. You'd have to go to Parlor or
Right.
some stupid shit like that. I'm sure there's a whole bunch of people pissed off about it. I'm sure your uncle's feed is full of it.
Right.
Your uncle? Why my
Your
uncle?
racist uncle.
Because it's your
Your
uncle.
racist uncle. Everybody's got
Your
a
racist uncle. I have many.
If you don't know your racist uncle, well, then they're in the closet.
They're closet racist. It's like gay people in the 80s. Everybody had one in the family, whether they out or closet.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, and I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I'm not saying that at all.
Oh, it exists.
I don't want anybody saying
Oh,
like,
yeah, I'm sure there's people up in arms about it, but
Yeah. Speaking of racist uncles, me and my wife were just talking. I have a great uncle who was very racist. He had property up in the Poconos, and he moved because a black guy moved in next door to him, which was a half-mile away.
Right.
Jesus Christ.
His wife died.
That is the ultimate white privilege right there. Like, oh, there's a black guy nearby. I'm moving.
right.
His wife died, and he started dating the widow of his friend, and then she was dancing with a black guy, and he broke it off. Like, and I was like, so that's a generation back from
Right. That's full old school.
my uncle, my mother's brothers. There's some of them that are, but it's not as bad. My generation, it depends on which uncle raised you. But, but even then, it's not, the racism really isn't that we're aware of, I'm sure.
Right.
But I was talking to Jen, I was like, I think we got 2 more generations and this shit will die out.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I think that's optimistic, but I hope so.
Yeah.
living in Indiana, I don't share your same.
Yeah, again, I'm in a blue state, Philly, and then down
Yeah.
here in Delaware. Yeah.
Sometimes I see shit and I'm like, really? Like really? Like
Yeah.
I told somebody off. Like it was just it was BioLife right before I stopped donating. Somebody was just wearing a fucking Confederate flag mask, and I'm like, real fucking.
Yeah.
And I told him off as I was leaving, partially because he was hooked up to the machine. I knew he wasn't gonna get the fuck up. but it's just like everyone here, like that's uncomfortable with that is like super uncomfortable. It's just like you're just being a fucking edgelord. You just
Yeah. Well, like I said, I went to Gettysburg last year, I think it was, and I just forgot it's a different world out there in central Pennsylvania. I just forgot. But in Gettysburg there weren't any Confederate flags, but all around Gettysburg, outside of the federal park, there was.
Yeah, I live in Fort Wayne, which is the second largest city in Indiana, and anytime, like as soon as I leave Fort Wayne and I'm not on the highway, it's just like Trump won signs, just throughout the field, and it's just like, oh, yep, it's a thing.
Yeah,
it's still there.
Yeah, you have to go a little ways outside of Portland to find that in Oregon, but it's in Oregon too.
I'm sure it's everywhere. And I'm sure it's the other end too. Black people. Actually, I've witnessed black people with the white, the reverse. Not only that, with the Latinos and all that. It's not just black and white. It's
everybody hates everybody.
Yes, it's what makes us Americans.
I don't hate anybody.
I'm sure
well, no, that's not true. I really hate racist people.
You just don't hate an entire group of people.
Well, I think that's what most racism is. People just don't interact with other cultures or in their bubble. It's
that's
the limited interaction they do have is usually negative. Yeah.
Hey, how's your drop-off situation? It's for school there, Forrest.
I walk over to the bus stop every morning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, they ride the bus for like 50 damn minutes, though. I feel bad for them.
Ooh.
Yeah. But
don't you have like 8 kids now? What happened?
3.
2 of them joined the circus.
5 of them died.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
It's a tough subject.
Yeah.
It's a little fresh, but you have to bring it up, Evan.
Yeah, thanks for bringing it up, Evan.
The baby's 5 months old, and she's amazing. Everything looks good.
Nice, man.
She's small, but she just had her checkup. She's doing good, and
that's great.
She's progressing, and she's fantastic.
That's awesome.
She's our easiest baby yet, personality-wise, which is nice.
Even easier than you?
That's pretty easy.
See what I did there?
I did. My wife would agree.
Some man, baby.
Trying to remember it. Something else I wanted to talk about.
Speaking of which, I need to be up in like 4.5 hours to get those kids to the bus stop. So I'm gonna get out.
All
right, fine. Maybe we should just call it quits anyway. Oh, he just laughed.
He wasn't joking, man.
He wasn't joking.
I gotta go.
Gotta go. I'm out of here. All right. We should probably all go to bed anyway. It's getting late.
Yeah.
Thanks as always for everybody showing up and talking.
Good to see you guys.
Good to see you. And I don't know. Be good. Oh, yeah, Castelli, I see you. Good to see you.
If you want to get together on a Tuesday, I can do that.
What
early.
time? What time? Your time?
I have to be done by like 2:30 p.m. PST.
All right, that should be a problem. We'll figure it out.
Okay.